Back here for the final time, it's Coach Cady Arena here in Oxford, Ohio. My name's Jeff Middleton, alongside Luke Lewis here for your call of the Miami RedHawks hockey team taking on the number 4 Western Michigan University Broncos. Pleasure to have you with us here on this Friday night as, like I said, the Miami RedHawks gear up for their final series of the year and their final home series of the year against an opponent that has been extremely successful and won the NCHC conference. As they come in, the Broncos, I should say, come in with an overall record of 24-7-1, only 4 losses in conference play. Miami, on the other end, 3-26-3 on the season, 0-21-1 in the NCHC. Last weekend, breaking their losing streak with a tie, lost in the shootout, but a tie officially to the Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs. As we look at the starters in net, it's Hampton Slukinski, the Los Angeles Kings draft pick freshman, 6'2", 185 pounds from Warroad, Minnesota. Played 15 games so far this year, 1.97 goals against and .926 save percentage. For Miami, it's Bruno Breveris as the puck is down and we are underway here from Goggin Ice Center. Bruno Breveris, 18 games played this year, 2-12-2 record, 3.86 goals against average, and a .875 save percentage as the Broncos get right to work here in the Miami zone as Christoph Filion instead will just push it down the ice. Miami moving right to left in this first period. The Broncos moving left to right. Miami now in the offensive zone. Played up to the point for Simonovic. It's Moulton now on the near side point. Puck plays out in front. Filion had a chance to play it, but his stick was caught up. And instead, it's Alex Bump, the Philadelphia Flyers draft pick, who will just send it in deep where Dylan Moulton will collect. Grant Slukinski, the brother of Hampton, in net tonight. On the forecheck, Colby Ambrosio gains the RedHawks blue line, but has his pocket picked by Slukinski. And it's Max Dukovac on the loose puck, gives over to Michael Quinn on the near side, and he'll play it through Matt Chupani and just send it down low. Johnny Waldron in the far corner tries to play it up to the point, but there's no help there. Instead, Max Dukovac gets on the puck, and now it's Waldron again in the neutral zone. Waldron pressures Krusberg-Rosine. Below his own goal line, the puck squirts out, and Waldron's there to collect, bouncing around in the slot. Chupani there, stick checking Brian Kramer, the grad student from Wexford, Pennsylvania. Puck is played out all the way to the neutral zone, and the RedHawks will collect again. Chupani will just flip that one in deep. Behind his own net is Hampton Slukinski, plays it to his defenseman, and Slukinski falls over. Might have been checked by Vitalins on accident, but the Broncos come the other way nonetheless. It's Hakkarainen. Hakkarainen pressured by 4 RedHawks through the middle of the ice. Raymond Vitalins comes up with it and will just backhand it forward to John Emmons on the near side. Emmons will play it back to Zane Dempsey and try and create some possession. Dempsey tries to play it back to Emmons in the neutral zone, has his pass picked off for a moment, but gets it back and gives over to Kasper Nassen, and now Dempsey on the far side. Emmons will flip it up, and it'll end up out of play.
Yeah, Miami coming out pretty hot here at the beginning of this game. This Western Michigan team, as you talked about, number 4 team in the country, got to slow them down, and it was a good job of limiting their first line there, who is red hot, especially Alex Bump. So good start for Miami here. Got to keep it going.
Face off at center ice, and like you mentioned, Luke, Alex Bump, kind of the leader this entire first line, very strong offensively, but Bump, only a sophomore from the Tri-City Storm, played under Anthony Noreen with Tri-City, 36 points in 32 games played this season and over a point per game in his college career. So a player that we're going to have to watch out for this weekend as Robbie Drasner, the Miami University transfer, played under head coach Chris Bergeron and ended up at Western Michigan this season. Had a very successful year for the Broncos, 10 points in 32 games played on the back end, as there's going to be an icing on the RedHawks, so Western Michigan getting a chance in the offensive zone.
Yeah, it's got to be good for Drasner to come home here and see the crowd. Has been away from campus for a little bit, but you know, tonight, last series of the year, they're playing for a lot more than just the record. A lot of guys, grad students, last time playing at Goggin Ice, so a lot of pride on the line this weekend.
100%, and it's been a consistent thing that this year is all about culture. The results matter, of course. Everybody wants to win. As Alex Bump gets a shot and sends that one over the crossbar. But again, a quick shot there for this Broncos first line. But like you mentioned, Luke, these guys are playing for pride. The record is one thing, and as Anthony Noreen has said multiple times, of course they want to win, but the goals that they have set out for this season can still be accomplished no matter what the record is. As the puck is jammed up along the wall on the near point of the RedHawks defensive zone, ends up getting played out to Una Väisänen, Pittsburgh Penguins draft pick. And now it's bump again, 1-on-4. He has his shot blocked by Richard Simonovic, and now it's Filion moving his legs up on the near side, and he's pressured quickly by Grant Suklinski. Now bump will just try and sauce one to the middle for Naring. Unable to get there, though, as Naring will retrieve the puck and just send it to the middle of the ice. Now up at the point, it's Brian Kramer. Kramer gets a shot through, and now Suklinski gets the rebound, gets saved by Bruveris by the right pad. Bump fires, that one's gloved down by Bruveris again, so 3 shots on goal early for WMU.
Yeah, nonetheless, though, Jeff, I think Miami's doing a good job clogging up that blue line right there. You see the Western Michigan forwards trying to make zone entries, trying to create odd man rushes, and Miami kind of limiting their speed. So the chances they do have, you know, they're just kind of shot from the point, and Miami's shutting down the transition game, which is nice.
And it's interesting looking at this Western Michigan lineup. You know, you play teams like Denver, teams like North Dakota who have, you know, for example, Denver, I should say, 9 of their 12 forwards were all drafted. And for WMU, they have draft picks, but they really rely on a system. They really rely on just playing a full team game. It's why they've been so successful. Again, number 4 in the country this season. Michael Quinn will take it across the blue line. He'll end up behind the WMU net, lose the puck for a moment. We'll have to get back on defense as it's Naring, and he'll backhand it off the wall, but too shallow, and he'll just have to throw it in deep where Quinn's there to collect. WMU goes for a change. Quinn plays it diagonally to Dukovac. Dukovac turns in his own end. Stick handles, plays it back for Spencer Cox. Cox mishandles it for a moment, able to regather. As a man pressuring him, that's Tim Wash, the captain of this WMU team, and now it's Hampus Rydquist far side. He banks it off the boards right in front of his bench, and Matthew Payne will just deflect it in and go for a change. Now it's Lemire. Lemire hit hard by Cox, loses the puck. It's Rydquist now. Rydquist is hit hard there in return by Wash. Now Vitalins is unable to clear the zone, and it's Tristan Lemire on the other side, and now Vitalins gets the puck back and goes through center ice. Over the center M, plays it wide for Emmons on the near side, and he'll just rim it around where Richard Simonovic is there to meet it on the far point. He'll just backhand it down, takes a weird bounce off the stanchion, almost ends up back in front, but WMU able to mitigate the potential danger there, and now it's back to the neutral zone and back in the stick of Raymond Vitalins moving into the offensive zone. Vitalins is pressured there. 2 big hits laid by the Broncos, and Vitalins is still down behind the net, gets up now, and now the Broncos move the other way. Played to Väisänen in front, unable to collect fully and get a shot through, but a good chance there in the slot as Dylan Moulton's there to collect, but he fans on the first play, and now it's Simonovic. Plays a little give-and-go game with Braden Morrison, and he'll move through center ice.
They got to do a better job getting that puck deep there. Tired lines out there for Miami.
Like you said, there are tired bodies. Blake Messenberg, Frankie Caragiuelo, and Braden Morrison out there. That's the 4th line for head coach Anthony Noreen. As now it's Owen Michaels. He throws a shot on, or excuse me, that was Brian Kramer, the defenseman. And now it's back on the stick of Alex Bump in the neutral zone. Now it's Costantini, plays it in front for Michaels, unable to gather it, as I believe Connor Hutchison got a stick on that, and now it's back in the possession of Michael Quinn, but he fans on the backhand, and now Bump will just send it down low. Costantini pressures Hutchison, but Hutchison makes a composed play, tries to get it to a teammate. Now it's Michael Quinn 1-on-2 through the neutral zone, able to get the puck out, but back in the possession of WMU.
Yeah, we're seeing the relentless forecheck out of the Western Michigan Broncos, just not allowing the Miami D to clear the zone at all.
That's right. It has been a struggle for these Miami teams, especially throughout this year. It's been hard with the turnovers. There's a play in front, shot, score! And there it is, a turnover in the defensive zone, and on the end of it, I believe it was Wyatt Shingothi, the Toronto Maple Leafs draft pick, also the extra forward tonight. A great backhand roof shot on Bruno Bruveris, nothing he could do, but like you mentioned, Luke, this forecheck by WMU, extremely tough to handle, and you know, a turnover in the defensive zone was literally just about to mention how that has cost the RedHawks a lot of goals this year, and there it is once again. Yeah,
it was just a matter of time something like that was going to happen. You can't give up any inches, any mistakes to this Broncos team, and Miami paid for it there. Good goal by Shingothi.
Grant Slukinski will get the assist. Took it around 2 RedHawks defenders and just found Shingothi behind everybody. And a great play to put WMU up 1-0 early. 13:30 remaining in this first period. Miami still yet to register a shot. Hampus Rydquist plays it down low, and it'll bank off the end wall where Matt Chupani on the half wall on the near side will just try and send it down low. Now it's Shingothi again. Gothi tries to play it up for Valenti, but Valenti's unable to handle it, and now Miami will come the other way. Vitalin's pressured hard there by Wash. Turns the puck over. Wash with a nice Mohawk backhand. That one sails wide. Another good chance early for WMU. Causing turnovers in the zone, in the defensive zone for Miami, I should say.
Yeah, head coach Anthony Arene cannot be happy with the way that the RedHawks are possessing the puck in the defensive zone. They got to use the glass and get the puck out of the zone.
One of their styles is they like to play to the middle and get rid of it from there, but against a team like WMU, that's going to be a dangerous game to play, as there's a shot on net by Sam Scholand, and that's going to be a save from Bruveris with the glove, and we will get our first media timeout. So with 12:35 remaining in this first period, it's 1-0 WMU here at Steve Coach Cady Arena. You're listening to Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. Stay with us. Back here at Goggin Ice Center, my name is Jeff Middleton alongside Luke Lewis. 1-0 is our score in favor of the visiting Broncos of WMU. Shots 4-0 as well. And we were talking about it just a moment ago, Luke, but turnovers in the defensive zone have cost the RedHawks a lot this season, and it cost them one early here too.
Yeah, I think one thing that we've seen with the RedHawks playing in this division, as tough as it is, you see teams like Western Michigan and Denver and North Dakota. And one of the clear differences is the ability to just get the puck off the stick and make crisp passes. Miami tends to play with the puck a little too much and not get it off their stick, and it costs them there.
Miami ends up winning the defensive zone draw, and it's Ryan Sullivan in the offensive zone now, plays it diagonally for Simonovic. Simonovic fires, blocker save, rebound, Kasper Nassen in front, but that one's gobbled up by Slukinsky. Two good shots for the RedHawks coming out of that media timeout.
Yeah, and that's got to be their game tonight. Just get pucks to the front of the net, get guys crashing the net. If they're going to win tonight, it's got to be effort, hard work, and screening the goalie. So good job there by Simonovic getting that to the net.
This WMU team, we talked about it at the beginning of the broadcast, but they are officially the winners of the NCHC. They officially have won the Penrose Cup. It's the first time in program history that they've done so, led by, again, a really strong system, really excellent goaltending. Hampton Slukinsky, as a freshman, has come in and really been a revelation for the Broncos, but also Cameron Rowe, can't forget about him, the Wisconsin transfer, has been phenomenal, backing up tonight. 17 games played, 2 goals against average, and a .924 save percentage. So both goaltenders sporting over a .920 save percentage. That's just almost unheard of.
Yeah, and this team doesn't allow many shots in the first place, so definitely a tough team to get the puck in the back of the net against.
RedHawks will carry it from their defensive zone. It's Connor Hutchison near side. He'll dump it in. Rims around the board, takes another weird bounce, and now it's on the stick of Waldron. Waldron tries to play it in front, but it was blocked by Cole Krusberg-Rosing. Now coming the other way is Ty Henricks. He's walled off there by Michael Quinn. Chupani finds Dukovac, and Dukovac makes a quick play off the boards, but it's a little bit too far for Waldron, and now back in the possession of the Broncos. Moving in, it's Garrett Sidlowski. Playing with Ty Henricks and Cam Newble on this fourth line. Max Dukovac now for Miami. We'll just play it off the wall, try and float it, but Waldron unable to handle that. And now it's Matteo Constantini coming in. Behind the RedHawks net, I should say. Spencer Cox lays a good hit there on Ty Henricks and walls him off from the puck, and the RedHawks will come the other way, but they need a change. Slukinsky Behind his own net, backhands it to Drasner. Drasner will float it up, and Hampus Rydquist will go and chase. Alex Bump on his tail. A good rim around is stopped momentarily by Michaels, but now it's Frankie Caragiello for the RedHawks. Caragiello is taken down behind the Broncos net. No penalty called, and looked like a clean play, as now it's Blake Messenberg. He'll just play it off the end wall. Caragiello is there to collect. Another man down, that's Braden Morrison. Now Caragiello plays it up for Moulton. Now Simonovic makes a nice spin move at the blue line. Backhands one to the net, rebounds in front, but Blake Messenberg's not able to get a stick on it. And Constantini will just send it out of danger and just play it down to the RedHawks zone. Filion sends a blind pass up the wall, and Alex Bump is there to collect. He's now behind the RedHawks net, and Filion lays a hit on him. Bump still able to maintain possession. Now there's a one-on-one below the goal line. Bump again with it. Plays it up to Rosine. Rosine plays it over for Kramer. Back to Kramberg. Rosine. He fires, but that one's gloved down by Bruveris once more.
Yeah, a really good chance by Frankie Caragiello right there. Looked like he had a step on the defenseman, Sam Scholin, but those big long strides really closed the gap there. So again, Miami just has to get the puck to the net. Can't be trying to make the fancy plays, and they'll have a good chance in this one.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it on two of Miami's 3 shots. It was a simple diagonal play, a shot from the point, and then a rebound in front. And of course, those are the chances you have to be able to convert on, but those are the ways you're going to get pucks to the net against this WMU team, as you'd mentioned. Draw is won by WMU, but it's won out of the zone, so they'll have to regroup for a moment. And now it's Lukinski. Fires! That one's 2 posts. No, it did not go in. The referee on the goal line says it hit both posts and did not cross the goal line. Don't think I've seen that one before.
Yeah, that was a funky play. Really good job by Grant Zielinski to use the defenseman as a screen there and almost snuck one past Bruno Bruveris.
Yeah, great shot. Like you mentioned, Luke, really sneaky play, and it was on the ice as well, but it hit both posts and ended up kicking out, and very vehement no signal from the referee on the goal line. That was Stan Zurich. As WMU gets back on the forecheck once again. Rydquist below the goal line, plays it over for Dempsey. He has trouble with it for a moment, but plays it up to Filion, and Filion, once again, not able to, according to Eric Frank, he was able to get the puck over the blue line. Not sure from our angle we were able to see it, but Eric Frank on the ice has a better view than we do. So there will be a neutral zone draw on the RedHawks side of the ice after the WMU Broncos go offside.
Yeah, we're seeing that replay up there on the screen here at Goggin. I mean, both posts. That was as close as it gets. Ref was all over that one.
Little meeting here with all 4 officials, and we're going to get a review here for a potential goal. So that shot from Slukinski looked like it hit both posts, and the original call on the ice was no goal, but we're going to go to review here, see if we can see from our perch up here.
You know, from my angle, unless that hit the back post, the white back post at the back of the net, I think this is going to stand as a no goal. Pretty clear, both posts.
And we'll see how long it takes them. The referees do have the overhead camera, which of course we do not have the luxury of having that up here in our booth, but
that is true. We see it all the time on the goals that are kind of top shelf with that back bar, though.
Yeah.
It's a little more inconclusive. On the other side of things, that was a low shot, which again, unless that somehow hit the back of the net, I think this is going to be a pretty quick review.
Yeah, quick review here as Zurich comes out, and we'll get our call. The puck did not cross the goal line, so Luke, your intuition was correct. It was no goal, only hit both posts, which that's no matter how many times you see that in person, it's always a rarity. You never get used to seeing a player hit both posts.
Yeah, about one of the most frustrating things as a player. I know hitting one post makes you want to just break your stick. So,
nonetheless, we will get a neutral zone face-off draw as Miami still down 1-0, but shots are 5-3 in favor of WMU. RedHawks looking to play in their offensive zone a little bit more. Colby Ambrosio plays a dangerous puck in front of the net. Luckily, Bruno Bruveris is able to corral that, and we're going to get a penalty here. It's going to be, I believe, for interference on WMU.
Yeah, I believe Tim Walsh took a run at the Miami defenseman there while he didn't have the puck. Is that what they're going to call here?
Yeah, it is interference. We'll see on our replay here in a moment, but yeah, not a good penalty to take if you're WMU. And yeah, you're exactly right. He took a run at Colby Ambrosio. Ambrosio didn't have the puck. He gave it up, and Wash just came in, tried to finish a hit, but it was a little too late for the officials' liking, and Miami will go to their first man advantage.
Yeah, not a great penalty out of the captain there in the O-zone. Looks like they were getting some chances, and Miami gets a gift there, so let's see if they can do something with it.
And this WMU penalty kill extremely strong this year, 90% on the season. As Miami is going to start with the puck, but not really any shots coming from it, and we'll get another face-off in the offensive zone as Slukienski covers up.
Yeah, and that's not surprising because, I mean, we've seen this in the first 10 minutes of this game, just the way the Broncos play. They play hard, they play fast. They're not going to give you an inch. So penalty kill being at the top of the league is a big reason why they're the number 4 team in the nation.
Yeah, Miami's power play 15.5% compared to the Broncos penalty kill at 90%. That's just not something you see a lot, and you know, no wonder they've had so much success. It's worth mentioning their power play hitting at 25.6%. So special teams have been huge for this Broncos team as Casper Nassen fires, and a great save by Slukienski on the one-timer. That's the play they're trying to dial up. Casper Nassen, a heck of a one-timer. We've heard Anthony Noreen rave about it, saying it's one of the best he's seen and coached, whether it's been professionals or in juniors, regardless, one of the best one-timers that he has had the pleasure of coaching.
Yeah, tough little save there by Hampton Sinlitsky.
Michael Quinn turns the puck over. It's going to be Slukienski on the other end, but a good back check by Nassen to retrieve the puck.
Yeah, I was just mentioning before that that's a really tough shot to stop out of the Boston Bruins draft pick as he gets the goalie going left to right and then shoots it the opposite direction. So really good save there by the Western Michigan goalie.
Yeah, Slukienski, 6'2", 185, a lanky player, but really composed in that WMU net. And we're just going to get a play blown dead here as Miami touched it with a high stick in the offensive zone, and WMU is not going to let them play it. So we'll have a face-off instead of the continuance of play. 53 seconds remaining on this Miami power play, and you know, other than that one-timer, not really anything being created here, as we'll see if Miami can create something off this offensive zone draw. Yeah,
pretty crucial draw for Vitalians here. Miami's getting some trouble entering the zone and getting it set up, so a nice win here could set him up originally, and Matt Chupani there looks like he's going to play the role of Nason and fade out.
Miami wins the draw. It's Moulton, gives over to Vitalians. Play in front by Morrison, rebound. That was sticked away by the WMU defender. Now it's Chupani on the left side, back up to Moulton, center point. Moulton fires through bodies. That one's blockered away by Slukienski. A great save through traffic by the freshman netminder, and it's sent down the other way by the WMU penalty killers.
Well, out of traffic in front there. Great shot. Almost found its way home, but good save by Solinsky.
Say great save, but a good shot by Moulton to get it through all the bodies. At least 6 players in the slot on that play as time is winding down. 19 seconds. It's Moulton on this left side. Vitalians fires. It hits a body in front, sitting in the slot, but Chupani and Sullivan both there, not able to get a stick on it. And Grant Slukienski is just going to take it the rest of the way. 6 seconds remaining, and Miami's just going to have one more rush before Wash is out of the penalty box. It's Chupani up the far side. Penalty officially over. Makes a nice move around Alex Bump. Drops it back to nobody, though, and now it's bumped the other way. Bump will just send it in. Owen Michaels there to chase. Simonovic is there. Excuse me, that's Hutchison there first. Now it's Väisänen. Väisänen will saucer it over to the far side. It's Bump again. Bump tries to play it up. Shot by...
I believe that was Shingothi right there. Making his presence felt here.
Exactly, yeah, he's been all around it. As the extra forward, you wouldn't expect him to see this much ice time, but he's been out there, scored the goal, and he has been excellent so far for WMU. Luckily, no damage done there for Miami. As the play is moved out to neutral ice, Bump and Messenberg take a collision in front of the Miami bench, and a turnover by Simonovic right to the stick of Bump. And now it's Shingothi again. Shot save by Bruveris. Excuse me, that was Wash. And now it's John Emmons the other way. Freshman has made his impact felt early or throughout this season. Play in front. It's Vitalians, and he's sent in to the WMU net by, that was Krusberg-Rosine, the WMU defender. No penalty for goalie interference is going to be called. Probably the right call as well, as Miami comes the other way. It's Emmons. Emmons down this near side. Stops in the near corner, and we'll just play it down low. Casper Nossen not able to get there first. Now the Broncos are going to try and work their way out of their zone with 5 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in this first period. Shots 8-7 in favor of Miami, so despite going down early in the shot counter, they've been able to work themselves back in it with a power play. No goals, though. It's still 1-0 score here from Goggin Ice Center. Ty Hendricks is offside on the play through the neutral zone. And so we will get our second and final media timeout of the period, as the score is 1-0 in favor of WMU. You're listening to Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. Back here at Steve Coach Cady Arena, my name's Jeff Middleton alongside Luke Lewis as we get set for the final 4:44 of this first period. Shots 8-7 in favor of Miami, but WMU leads on the scoreboard 1-0 after a goal from Wyatt Shingothi put the Broncos on top. Now it's Valenti coming in for the Broncos. He's getting held and hooked by Hutchison, but no call there. As WMU just going to get set up. It's Robbie Drasner on the near side. Drasner plays across for Kramer. Now it's Slukinski. Well, just for a moment, it kicked off the official, and now the RedHawks will just play it down the other way. Drasner plays it up off the wall. It's Naring. Sullivan works the puck off his stick, and now it's Grant Slukinski the other way. Slukinski to Scholand. Scholand has his pocket picked, though, by Simonovic, and now Simonovic will just play it cross ice for Christoph Filion, who has his pocket picked by Vasaninen. Is flipped on the RedHawks net, and Perveris is just going to use his glove to stop play with 3:51 remaining in this first period.
Yeah, a much stronger last few minutes here for the RedHawks, really limiting the Broncos and getting more shots on goal, as you mentioned. Right before the break, John Emmons and Raymond Zatowns had a really nice chance, just trying to push the pace of the ice, get speed through the neutral zone, and as we talked about before, got to make tape-to-tape passes and get those crisps up, okay?
Colby Ambrosio wins the draw back to Dylan Moulton. He'll play it around on the near side for Christoph Filion, but Owen Michaels is there to halt any progression, and he will just throw it out of play by accident, trying to send it up off the boards, and we will do it all over again.
Yeah, this is the line you want to look out for sure. Alex Bump, Matteo Costantini, and Owen Michaels, just all having great years. 2 draft picks with Owen Michaels, probably going to be signed at some point, having a great year. So big draw here for the RedHawks.
And this line has been all around it. Alex Bump especially. It's felt like he's had the puck on his stick every time he's been on the ice. Nothing yet on the scoreboard, but keeps playing like that, that's certain to change. RedHawks looking to do everything they can to prevent that as Vitalins lays a hard check on Vicenen, and now Emmons gets in on the forecheck for the RedHawks. Emmons battles against Scholand. Now it's Casper Nossen, but he turns it over to Matteo Costantini. Spencer Cox makes a nice defensive play, but unable to clear the zone as Costantini will just send it down low. And his teammates will recover for him. Rosberg-Rosing sends a shot on net, but that's blocked by Spencer Cox. And now it's Tim Wash on the forecheck, but Simonovic comes out with it and will just play it forward for Casper Nossen, who will dump it in and move over to the bench, or he will not, as it was called an icing. Nossen judged by the linesman that he was not at the red line or ahead of it, so he will have to stay on the ice.
Yeah, it's going to be a long shift there for this RedHawks line. I was going to mention before, this line of Emmons, Nason, and Vitalins really playing well here in this first period, getting shots to the net. So they're going to try to get the puck out here and get a quick change, though.
We've seen a lot of different line combinations throughout this season for head coach Anthony Noreen, and this is another weekend where it's a little bit more of the same as the puck is sent all the way down to the WMU end, but it's on net, so RedHawks get the chance to change. Puck is played through the middle of the ice by WMU. Braden Morrison's there first, but it's not out of the zone, and now Morrison brings it over the blue line. Colby Ambrosio will find Blake Messenberg. He's hit hard by Crosberg-Rosine. And a good forecheck by Ambrosio. His defenseman doesn't have a stick. A move, shot, scores! The RedHawks catch a fortunate bounce as the WMU defenseman lost his stick in the battle with Colby Ambrosio, and Ambrosio takes advantage, putting the puck right by the blocker of Hampton Slukinski and tying this game with 2:25 remaining in the first period.
And that was a big goal for the RedHawks there. Kind of a weird play. Zach Sharp losing the stick. Great job by Ambrosio to shield him off and protect the puck, and a great little chip shot over the shoulder of Hampton Slukinski.
That is Ambrosio's 7th goal of the year, his 19th point in his 33rd game for the RedHawks in his last weekend as a college hockey player. But WMU is going to get right back to work here, as it's Cam Newble, Ty Hendricks, and Wyatt Shingothi. Shingothi already with a goal. Zach Sharp sent back out into the neutral ice, and Zach Sharp's just going to take it himself. He turns the puck over, though. It's Matt Chupani. Chupani shields off his defender for a moment, but a good stick there by Naring. And he gives the puck over to his teammate, and Hampus Rydquist lays a big hit on Hendricks in front of the Miami bench. And now puck rolls its way around to the near side in the neutral zone as Dukovac is there to get it and just send it cross corner. John Emmons battling against Sam Scholand. One-on-one for a moment before Grant Slukinski comes in and takes the puck away. Now it's Vitalins. Vitalins plays it out in front. Now Zane Dempsey near side. Dempsey fires that one. Slukinski doesn't know where it is. Hit off a couple bodies, and now it's Casper Nossen on the half wall. Nossen with a nice play between his legs, has the stick taken out of his hand, but RedHawks aren't able to get to the puck first. RedHawks unable to get an icing there as the Broncos defender sent it all the way down. Rydquist was able to beat it, though, as now it's Nossen through the neutral ice.
Yeah, this third line for the RedHawks continuing to go to work. Really, really good things. I'm sure Anthony Marine is happy about that line.
We've said this many times throughout the season, 42 seconds remaining in this first period. We've seen it many times as Miami's not going to outskill any of these opponents in the NCHC. They're going to score by creating chances, creating havoc in front of the net, and being on that forecheck extremely hard as Simonovic tries to throw into the net. Then it's Ambrosio in front, tries to get his stick out of a tie-up, unable to do so. And instead, it's going to be Tristan Lemieux that sends it out into the RedHawks zone. Simonovic sends it to Blake Messenberg. With 13 seconds left, Caragiello gets in on the forecheck. He stops in the near corner. We'll just play it down low for Ambrosio. Ambrosio behind the WMU net. Shields tries to play it to the slot. The puck is sent all the way down. 1 second remaining, now none. As the RedHawks go into the first intermission tied with the number 4 team in the country after a late goal by Colby Ambrosio. And overall, Luke, a really strong period course, you have your moments where WMU is going to dominate because they're that good of a team, but overall, you probably have to be pretty happy if you're Anthony Noreen with how you played that period.
Absolutely. It looked like the period was going to go one way in the first about 7 minutes of the period, but Miami doing a great job of refocusing, getting back to their game. You saw them clean up the passes, getting the puck out of the zone, and the difference for me was getting in on the forecheck and putting hits on these Western Michigan Bronco defensemen, just trying to wreak havoc in front of the net and make them panic back there, and good Red Hawk hockey out of them to go into this intermission tied up with the Broncos.
And it's worth mentioning early in that period, Western Michigan really dominated the forecheck game, and you could see it as they created so many turnovers and ended up scoring a goal off of one, in Miami doing the same late in that period and getting the result that they want on the scoreboard. So nonetheless, we move into the first intermission, I should say, ahead of the second period. Aiden Sones is going to have your intermission report as we get set for another exciting 40 minutes of hockey. My name is Jeff Middleton alongside Luke Lewis. We'll be back with you for the middle frame right here on Red Hawk Radio.
It is Friday, March 7th, and we are here at Goggin Ice Center in Oxford, Ohio, as it is the first intermission of the RedHawks hockey game against the Western Michigan Broncos. Again, this is your first intermission report. My name is Aiden Sones, so let's get down to it. Sorry for the technical difficulties earlier, so we will combine the pre-game show as well as this first intermission report. Last series against the Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs ended with an overtime loss and a tie. But let's talk about the first game. It was a 3-2 overtime loss. The good Bruno Bouvard stopped a career-high 38 shots. Max Dukovac, after returning from injury, also scored for the first time since November 8th. Miami finished with 27 shots on goal, its most since January 18th. And that made Miami earn its first point, or first of many I should say, in the NCHC. They started off strong. Miami scored the first goal of the game, being Dukovac's. They also ended regulation strong as well, as they tied the game with 4 minutes and 36 seconds left in the game to send it to overtime. Now that was the good. Let's mention the bad. Miami needed to limit penalties. We had 3 different penalties, a total of 9 penalty minutes. Miami is ranked second of all NCHC teams in penalty minutes with 403, only behind North Dakota. Faceoffs have been a struggle as of late. Miami underperformed in this category during the game, where they only had 25 faceoff wins compared to Minnesota Duluth's 28. Miami is last in faceoff percentage in the NCHC. They are ranked the 8th worst in all of the NCAA with a 46.3%. So that's the good, that's the bad. Now the ugly, the shots on goal. 41 shots on goal for the Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs. That was only good for the RedHawks due to a stellar performance by Bruno Bavares. Miami has on average 31 shots against on goal per game, which ties for 18th most in NCAA, which is the second worst in the NCHC. Now that was game 1. Going on to game 2, it was the final road game of the season for the RedHawks. The game ended in a 1-1 tie with 9 shootout rounds, claiming the Bulldogs as victors. A common theme that I've seen throughout the season is Miami having a strong start, of course. They did not allow a shot on goal in the first 7 minutes. Meanwhile, Nasson scored the only goal for the game for the RedHawks, this being his 6th goal of the season, which ties Ambrosi and Sullivan for most goals this season. That matches his career high of 5 shots on goal as well. Overall stellar performance by Kasper Nasson. All my critiques from the last game have been diminished. The shots in goal were even, 27 each. Face-off percentage was even at an even 50-50 rate. Penalty minutes were also avoided. Miami only had 2 penalties, 4 minutes combined, compared to the Bulldogs' 7. So here's the question. Is there hope This is our third consecutive road game that goes into overtime, and Coach Noreen in his latest interview called this weekend the most complete weekend they have played all year. So we have some hope for the RedHawks. Now let's look at the Western Michigan Broncos. USCHO.com ranks Western Michigan at number 4, even received a first-place vote out of all of NCAA. They are currently 24-7-1, 17-4-1 in NCHC play. Only 4 losses against the number 2 at the time, Denver. Received votes at the time, Colorado College. Number 12 at the time, Arizona State. And number 18, North Dakota. The last NCHC game, they did lose to North Dakota, however, 3-4 in overtime. So if Miami comes out victorious in one of these 2 games, it will be the first time all season Western Michigan has lost to a team that hasn't received any votes in the polls for NCAA hockey. This season against Miami, they played a series in Western Michigan from January 24th to the 25th. Game 1, Miami lost 8-3 with 47 shots on goal compared to Miami's 21. And they absolutely demolished the RedHawks in face-offs with 40 compared to 24 for the RedHawks. Game 2 was a little more even, 2-0. Miami still loses. It was a similar theme, however. Should have been maybe a more larger discrepancy in goal differential, as 33-14 shots on goal with 36-19 face-off wins, both in the Broncos' favor. So for the RedHawks, this is Miami's toughest competition yet. The Broncos already claimed the Penrose Cup last week against North Dakota. This is their first time in program history. And you have a bunch of key players for these Western Michigan Broncos teams that really stood out to me, including Alex Bump. He leads the team with 16 goals and 36 points, which is 5th in the NCHC. For reference, Colby Ambrosio leads the RedHawks with 18 points and is tied for first with 6 goals. You have other players like Samuel Scholand. He leads the team with 22 assists, which is 6th in the NCHC. Johnny Waldron leading for the RedHawks has 14. And an insane 1-2 punch as goaltenders. You have Hampton Slukinski and Cameron Rowe both played over 900 minutes this season. Slukinski with a 1.97 goals against average, with a .926 save percentage. He is 9-5-1. Meanwhile, Rowe has a 2 goals against average with a .924 save percentage, 15-2-0. Both goalies lead the league in goals against average. For the history of the matchups between the RedHawks and the Broncos, Miami is 71, 86, and 13 all time. They recently broke their longest losing streak against the Broncos, which was 11 games, which actually occurred last season on January 12, 2024. They have not won a game between February 26, 2021 and January 12, 2024. They barely beat Western Michigan on that day, 4-3, on January 13, 2024, and they have not won the last 4 games against them in this series. Coach Noreen calls Western Michigan the most complete of a team we have seen. So it is going to be an interesting next 2 games, as this is Miami's toughest competition yet. We're going to take a short intermission break from the intermission show, and we'll be right back right after this. Doing some player rundowns. Here's some players to watch for your Miami RedHawks. Number 13, Max Dukovac, 6'1", 178 pounds. Junior from Aurora, Illinois. He is playing left wing on the same line as Johnny Waldron and Matt Chupani tonight. He was injured earlier this season on November 15th against Minnesota Duluth. But last series he did have a resurgence of sorts, 5 shots on goal, including a goal in the first game. This season, 23 games played, 3 goals, 5 assists for 8 points. It seems after his injury, he started off a little bit slow to start, but in these last few games, he's really picked up the pace again with that goal last series. Next player to look out for, another left winger today, Kasper Nasen. 6'4", 205-pound freshman from Norrtälje, Sweden. He was drafted in the 7th round, the 214th pick by the Boston Bruins. He has 31 points, 16 goals, 15 assists in 41 games for Frölund J20 squad in 2023 to 2024 season. He scored 3 goals for the Sweden U20 team. He had 2 assists for the Sweden U19 team, and this season he already has 6 goals, including the only goal from last game that ended in the 1-1 tie, as well as 3 assists. Finally, the left winger on the first line, playing with Ryan Sullivan and Colby Ambrosio tonight. We have Christopher Fillion. Again, left winger, 5'9", 171 pounds, grad student from Sherbrooke, Quebec. Played for Quinnipiac the last 4 seasons, where he had 25 goals, 29 assists for 54 points in 124 appearances. He won the national title in the 2022 to 2023 season, and he scored 20 points that season. Last season, he had a career high in goals, 12, total of 19 points, including 3 game-winning goals. This season, he already has 4 goals and 6 assists. That does it for the first intermission report. In the second intermission report, I will talk about the Western Michigan Broncos, the players that you should be looking out for this season, as well as some of the keys to the game. Again, my name is Aiden Stones. I'm bringing it back to Jeff and Luke right after this.
Back here for the second period at Steve Coach Cady Arena. My name's Jeff Middleton alongside Luke Lewis as we get set for the middle frame. Score is 1-1 between Miami and WMU. Goals coming from Wyatt Shingothi, assisted by Grant Slakinski, and an unassisted goal by Colby Ambrosio late in that first period tied it for the RedHawks as they will look to continue their late stage momentum and try and add to the scoreboard. Shots 10-7 in favor of the RedHawks as well.
Yeah, I'm sure head coach Anthony Noreen is like, you got to start this period the way you finished last period, hard on the forecheck and put some pressure on the Broncos.
Miami moving left to right, WMU moving right to left, and we are back underway as Michaels wins the faceoff against Colby Ambrosio, the Miami goal scorer. Broncos send it in deep. Simonovic is there for it first. Tries to clear it all the way around, but a good keep there by Univaisinen, and it's sent in on net as Bruveris will just cover it up with two Broncos lurking. So 15 seconds in, we get our first offensive zone draw for either team. It's going to be Miami in the defensive zone. Ambrosio against Michaels once again. This time it's won by Ambrosio, and Simonovic is able to clear it out all the way back to neutral ice and eventually rolling all the way down to the opposite goal line. Ambrosio gets on the forecheck quickly, but WMU is able to make an exit, and now it's Alex Bump on the far side. Bump makes a nice move to the middle. Shot, scores! There he is. It's Alex Bump, the sophomore from Prior Lake, Minnesota. Scores his 17th goal of the season and the 31st of his career.
Yeah, just a really good example why Alex Bump is leading this team in scoring. Just flying through the neutral zone and a nice move. Again, we talked about it before, moving that goalie from left to right and then shooting the opposite across the grain. Really tough stop there for Bruveris, and Alex Bump, man, what a goal.
We've said his name throughout that first period, and we even mentioned that if he kept getting the puck on his stick like he had it in the first, he was going to end up on the score sheet, and there he is. As Miami wins the center ice draw, but Connor Hutchison has his pass deflected and sent out of play. So it's 2-1 WMU. Shots are still 10-8 for Miami. And Miami really wanted to carry that momentum that they got late in that first period, but WMU, the number 4 team in the country, says no sir, and puts themselves up by 1. Less than 30 seconds into the first period as well. Excuse me, I should say 31 seconds into the first period still. Now it's Grant Slakinski back, WMU back to work. Great defensive play by Connor Hutchison, laying out, and a rebound, shot, scores! It's Naring, the freshman, formerly of the Sioux Falls Stampede in the USHL. He's able to fire one home through Bruveris. That one just squeaked over the goal line, so 2 goals in the first minute of this second period for WMU. And this game has changed in a heartbeat.
Yeah, not an ideal start for the RedHawks here, but what a play by Grant Slakinski. Kind of a behind-the-back, no-look pass. Caught Bruno Bruveris completely off guard, and Zach Nairn there to clean it up and put it home to give the Broncos a 2-goal lead here. Miami's going to have to get back in this one with the line we talked about in the first period and try to bounce back fast after 2 quick goals.
Naring, a 2023 draft pick of the Winnipeg Jets, and you can see why there. An extremely hard shot that snuck through the glove side of Bruveris. Looked like he might have had it, but was off balance and had to defend the one-timer and just was not able to do it. So Miami finds themselves down 2 after 2 quick goals by WMU, and Rydquist will send it in on the near side. John Emmons gets on the forecheck against former Red Hawk Robbie Drasner. He wins that battle and just send it back around for Hampus Rydquist. Rydquist intentionally throws that one off the end wall. Emmons is there, tries to one-hand it back up to Simonovic. Unable to do so, though, thanks to the stick of Lemire. Now it's Simonovic on the center M. Has his first pass deflected, but able to get the rebound. Plays it over to Caragiello near side. Now Messenberg will just backhand it, where Morrison's there to meet it behind the net. Morrison pressured hard there. Plays it up to Simonovic. Simonovic drags, shoots. That one's deflected. Puck up in the air. Rebound in front of the crease. There's going to be a penalty here.
I believe it's on the RedHawks.
Yeah, it's on the Miami. Thought there might be another trip on WMU, but no, it's going to be on Miami, and an icing is going to cancel it out, so we're going to get a holding call. We'll see who the guilty party is on the RedHawks. Looks like it's going to be Braden Morrison. Sorry, no, Blake Messenberg.
Yeah, he's not happy with that call at all. Obviously, not a great penalty to take.
Or no, it is going to be Braden Morrison. Sorry. I think. Well, neither one of them are going to the box, and he called Miami number 23, so I'm not sure what the... Okay, it is going to be Braden Morrison. Yeah, a little bit of a confusion there. I think Messenberg might have thought it was on him, and no, it was on Morrison, and Morrison's going to head to the box.
Yeah, so our first look here at the Western Michigan power play, see how they move it. Obviously, Alex Bump, Owen Michaels, their top guys out here. Not a great situation for the RedHawks.
Yeah, like you said, you give up 2 goals in the first minute, and then you go to the power play, or you go to the penalty kill, I should say. It's just not a great first few for Miami. They're looking to kill off a penalty against power play that's clicking at 25, almost 26% this season. It's Bump on the near side. Bump drags, fires. That one saved by Bruveris. Holds it in his blocker. So for Miami, it's going to be Ryan Sullivan, Matt Chupani, Dylan Moulton, and Richard Simonovich. For Western Michigan, it's Michaels, Constantini, Bump, Scholand, and Valenti.
Yeah, they go with the 4 forwards look here, and obviously we saw that shot out of Alex Bump, just a wicked release. Got to limit him here.
Bump tries to play it to the middle, but Scholand's able to corral the puck, and he'll just play it to the middle. It's Ryan Sullivan. Sullivan had an option with Chupani, but will just dump it down low and go for a change. As WMU is going to have to regroup. It's Bump on the near side, moves through neutral ice, loses it for a moment. He's unable to gather it, though. The RedHawks, after a couple of whacks at it, will just send it all the way down with 1:21 remaining on the penalty. It's Bump once more. Down this near side once again. It's a nice move around Rydquist, but the puck is taken off his stick and back on the stick of Zane Dempsey. Now Waldron will win the battle and send it all the way down, where Hampton Slukinski, the goalie for the Broncos, will play it out. Broncos moving forward, it's Wash. Around to Grant Slukinski, unable to corral it though. Chupani in a race with it. Again, against Una Väisänen. Chupani tries to find Sullivan, but now it's Zach Naring. Plays over for Wash. Wash goes cross ice for Slukinski. He'll play it to the middle. Shot there, hits a body. And now it's Chupani on this near side. He's just going to play it down deep with 32 seconds remaining on this Miami penalty kill.
Yeah, good job by the RedHawks on the kill here, kind of limiting the Broncos getting into the zone and setting up, which is what you want to see.
Kind of an odd play in neutral ice as a Bronco fell down, had the puck taken off his stick, and now it's Väisänen. We'll just play it back for Naring once more on the far side. Naring backhands it towards the boards for Costantini, and now it's Wash on the near half wall. Wash will just spin it all the way around. Väisänen's not able to get there, though. And the penalty is over, so Miami able to kill it off. Not really anything doing there, and other than that first kind of sequence by the first unit. Nonetheless, Broncos get back to work. It's Michaels, plays it center for Drasner. Drasner finds Bump, one-timer. That is an absolute rocket, but it's sent wide of the RedHawks cage by Bump. Now it's Bump, backhands it for Costantini. Costantini turns, finds Bump again. Bump turns on the far corner. Stops at the far point. Backhands it for Drasner, center point. Drasner finds Sharp. Sharp shoots, scores! So Sharp at the bottom of the circle, able to get a puck through traffic. It was Costantini in front of the net. And just like that, less than 5 minutes into the second period, WMU is up 4-1.
Yeah, that is all Alex Bump there, Jeff. You saw he took 2 Miami defenders right at him, took him out of the play, made a really nice backhand pass to Drasner and left Zach Sharp pretty much alone on the back door. And that puck somehow, I didn't even see how that went through, but found a hole, and the Broncos lead 4-1.
It Dylan Moulton was there for the RedHawks. I'm not sure Bruno Braveris could have seen it, as Moulton was just flying in trying to get a block. And a good shot by Sharp from the circle. Yeah, I don't know exactly how that went in, but nonetheless, it hit the back of the net, and WMU's up 4-1. So it's Sharp from Drasner, the Miami transfer, and bump, like you said, as Miami gets to work. Hutchison tries to find Nassen in the middle, but pass was deflected, and now it's Henricks the other way. Henricks will just dump it in deep. It's Messenberg there to retrieve. It's Krusberg-Rosing will send it down low, and now it's Kramer on the near side. Kramer draws two defenders and will just send it all the way around to Wash. WMU captain. Wash backhands it for Krusberg-Rosing. Rosing, far point over to Kramer. Kramer fires. That one saved by Braveris. Colby Ambrosio there to get to the rebound first. He engages in a battle with Tristan Lemire. Now Michael Quinn behind his own net. Tries to play it up for Nassen, but the stick of Väisänen is right there. Or excuse me, that's Hakkarainen. Now it's Dukovac in the offensive zone. Tries to play it to the middle. Nobody there. Rydquist holds. Tries to put it on net. That one's blocked by Hakkarainen. Now Emmons gives him a little bit of a slash, but nothing coming. And WMU's just forced to play it out to neutral ice.
Yeah, the Broncos are doing a really good job clogging up the middle of the ice in their D zone, not allowing the RedHawks to make cross-team passes at all.
We saw Miami's first two shots of this game come off of a cross-seam pass, like you mentioned, Luke. Obviously, those are dangerous for everybody involved, the goaltender especially, as Hakkarainen goes offside after Grant Slakinski fed him the puck on the blue line and went in just a bit too early.
Yeah, and I was mentioning before, like that box in the O-zone for the RedHawks is where you want to facilitate your chances, get guys to the middle, which will then open up those lanes to go cross ice. But the Broncos getting bodies in the way, blocking shots, not even letting passes go through, as we saw Hampus Rydquist kind of run out of room there and have to shoot one from the goal line. Good job by the Broncos.
Puck is sent down in the RedHawks offensive zone. Looked like Braden Morrison could have taken another penalty there, but no call is coming. Might have had a hook as there's a shot blocked away by the stick of Dylan Moulton. And we will get an offensive zone face-off draw once again for Western Michigan.
And we see Shingothi back out there. He's getting some more playing time after his strong first period, playing with sorry, Jeff, these names are tripping me up sometime. Slakinski and Nearing. Good line here for the Broncos.
Väisänen at the point. Broncos did win the faceoff. Chupani will just play it up and try and beat them in a race. Slakinski comes out to play it, and he will, calmly and coolly, over to Scholand. And now it's Shingothi, plays over to Grant Slakinski, the brother of Hampton, who's in net for the WMU tonight. Grant with 2 assists on the night as well, so a good showing from him. As now it's Waldron for the RedHawks on the far half wall. Makes a nice move to fake out the defender, but a turnover quickly. It's Zach Sharp once again. Sharp fires. That one's blockered away by Braveris, but still the RedHawks are unable to clear. A hack to the feet of, I believe that was Naring by Christoph Filion, able to turn the puck over. As now this WMU first line's going to get back to work. It's Michaels. Plays it around for Bump. Goal and an assist tonight. Bump holds, plays cross ice for Drasner. Drasner plays it to the middle. Great shot by Michaels, but it was saved by the right pad of Bruno Braveris. And that puck is sent right into the score box. Watch out down there, and we will get to our first media timeout of the period. So a couple goals in succession, and then one just a little later, and within the first 5 minutes of the second period, WMU is up 4-1 from Goggin Ice Center here in Oxford, Ohio. Miami looking to come back with 12:06 remaining in the second period. We'll be right back with you after this. Score is 4-1 between the WMU Broncos and the Miami RedHawks. The visitors leading after a barrage of goals in the first 5 minutes. WMU back to work in the offensive zone. They do lose the faceoff, but are able to pin the puck up along the board. Zane Dempsey's just going to rim it around, and not sure if this will be enough for icing. And no, Eric Frank, the linesman, fan favorite here, Goggin Ice Center, waves it off. And WMU will just have to make it through the neutral zone. Big hit laid there by Spencer Cox. Forces a turnover, and Cox is going to find a man through the middle. That's Casper Nossen. He's played there by Drasner, and he'll whack it away. And now it's Nossen once again. Another sharp whack, this time by Shingothi. And now it's Hakkarainen on the near side. Hakkarainen plays it in front. I believe that was Lemire going towards the net. And now Crossberg Rosine is going to send it in deep, where Brian Kramer meets it. Kramer will just rim it around once again. That's Ty Hendricks on the far side. Now Gnubel. WMU trying to establish a cycle. Casper Nossen says no to that, though, and he'll just send it out into the neutral zone. Crossberg Rosine. Now Hendricks. Backhand play in front. Not able to get a full shot. That was Garrett Sidlowski. Now Sidlowski tries again, but that one's sent wide, and now Crossberg Rosine been out there a long time. He's going to take it around the RedHawks net. Good play by Michael Quinn to stop him for a moment, though, but Hendricks able to get it back.
That was a really nice play by Frankie Cardriola on the back check there. The Western Michigan forward there, Sidlowski, looked to be all alone, and really good effort by the RedHawks to get back.
Puck went out of play, so we will get another offensive zone for WMU, but Miami really hasn't had much of possession. Saw it late in the period in the first. They really were able to establish a forecheck, try and create some turnovers, but nothing really yet here as we're moving towards the halfway mark of this game. 10:39 remaining in the second.
Yeah, and we saw another Spencer Cox pass to Casper Nason, kind of fumbled it. That's what Miami's going to have to clean up, is those crisp passes.
Now Max Dukovac moves in, tries to play it in front, as that's an easy save for Slukinski in net. And that puck is sent out of play, and we'll get an offensive zone draw for the RedHawks now.
Good little zone entry there for Miami. Got to get in hard on the forecheck. We saw that's what happened in the first period towards the end, and that was what was limiting the Western Michigan Broncos. Got to get back to what was working for them.
So it'll be Johnny Waldron against Owen Michaels on the far side of the offensive zone. Michaels wins that one cleanly, and it's sent out of the zone by Scholand. Or it was, thought it might be sent out of the zone, but a good keep by Hampus Rydquist. Nonetheless, Western Michigan comes up with it as it's Shingothi. Now Alex Bump. Just chip it in deep while Shingothi is there to chase it against Connor Hutchison. Bisonen has his stick break, so he has to go to the bench for a new one, which allows Miami to clear, and it's just sent back in by the Broncos. Breveris behind his own net will play it over to Rydquist in the near corner, and Rydquist will try and send it deep, as Zach Sharp is not able to corral it, and it's going to be an icing.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why that didn't get waved off. It looks like Zach Sharp played the puck there, kind of just skipped over his stick. That's another guy I want to talk about a little bit, Zach Sharp. He's been having a lot of ice time tonight. The 2005 birth year from Naperville. Grew up playing Chicago Mission. These young guys in college hockey are not scared of the challenges and not scared of the ice time. So good job out of number 10 there.
And we've seen through this entire season that the best teams, not only do they have older guys that can contribute, but really it's their younger guys that have been just as impactful, if not more, than their older guys. These freshmen coming in from all sorts of USHL programs have been excellent additions for the top teams in this NCHC conference. This play resumes. It's Valente. Tries to play it out in front, but now it's Waldron. Collects the loose puck. Waldron gets a little physical with his former teammate Robbie Drasner, but Drasner does a good job of walling him off, and the Broncos are able to regain possession. Now Chupani, cross ice for Caragiello. Caragiello fires, but that one's off the stick of Drasner. Two great defensive plays there by the former Red Hawk. And Miami will get another offensive zone draw.
Yeah, you mentioned it. The freshmen in the conference, specifically the NCHC, we're seeing birth years as young as 2006. College hockey is in great hands right now. The young talent coming up the ranks. It's impressive things to watch.
Colby Ambrosio is going to take this draw against Tim Wash. Ambrosio wins it back to Simonovic. Simonovic has trouble handling it against Hakkarainen on the near side. Redhawks get to work below the goal line. It's Ambrosio, but he loses his footing, and then Wash, he falls over as well as bodies pile up in that far corner, and it's going to be Krusberg-Rosine who just sends it out to the Miami zone. Now it's Kramer. Kramer gives it off to Lemieux. Shot on net by Kramer, not really anything threatening though, as now it's Krusberg-Rosine. Good stick there by Raymond Vitalins. He was just able to get a little bit of a disruption on a shot that was of a high quality in that face-off dot. We've already seen a goal from there tonight, just on the other side.
Yeah, good job getting the stick in the lane there. We're starting to see the physicality ramp up a bit. Very important on the Redhawks side. Anything you can do to disrupt this Broncos team, any little bump you can lay to make their forwards uncomfortable is how you're going to hopefully get back in this game.
We get a little bit of a false start on the draw here. It's John Emmons against Newble, and it's another false start, as we've seen time and time again. These NCHC linesmen very strict, whether it's icing or on face-offs. You don't really get a lot of wiggle room if you're one of the players. Nonetheless, it's won by Western Michigan. Brian Kramer, center point, fires. That one's blocked. A mass of bodies in front of Bruveris, and now it's Vitalins the other way. Vitalins will just flip it down deep, or Kramer's there to get it for WMU. He'll play it to his partner, Krusberg-Rosine. And out come the Broncos. It's Sidlowski across the blue line, but was just a bit offside.
Yeah, kind of overhandling of the puck there for Sidlowski, making moves at the blue line. That is one of the first things they teach you when you move on from youth hockey to a little higher level. Don't mess around with it at the blue line. Get it over the line, and then you could use your talent, show your creativity.
Yeah, that's one of me and our head broadcast director, Luke Westpoli, love to talk about that on these broadcasts, as there's nothing that makes us more frustrated than seeing moves on the blue line, no matter which team it is, whether it's the Redhawks or the visitors. It's just a little pet peeve of ours, and there was another one, as the Redhawks will dump it into the zone, and now it's Blake Messenberg after a play from Slukinski behind his net. Messenberg on the far half wall will just send it around. Christoph Filion walled off there by Una Väisänen. Väisänen, originally from Finland, playing really good minutes here for head coach Pat Ferschweiler. In his fourth season at the helm of this Broncos team, Ferschweiler has done a really excellent job, as seen not only by the kind of talent that he's recruited, but the results. Fourth in the country. The puck battle was broken up there, and now it's Alex Bump the other way. Bump holds, he's checked there by Rydquist, but able to kick the puck back to his stick. Plays it cross ice for Zach Sharp. Sharp plays it cross ice again. Good save there by Bruveris, coming cross crease. That was Shingothi on the end of the pass by Sharp. Miami unable to get into the lanes, and another dangerous chance for WMU this period. 7:03 remaining in this middle frame. It's Max Dukovac. Has a stick tied up. No penalty called, though. He's got a stick chicken winged in his arm, and now it's Alex Bump once again. Bump plays it to Drasner. Now Grant Slukinski, tries to play it below the net. Chupani's there to intercept, but puck is not brought out as Drasner's able to keep it in at the near point. Shingothi pressured there by Rydquist. He gives it off for Valente. Valente to Drasner. That one's deflected in front by Slukinski. Play to the net. Slukinski once again. But the puck is kicked out to the far corner. Good couple of saves there by Bruveris. And now Miami just looking to get out of danger here. Johnny Waldron will chip it off the wall for Chupani. Chupani plays it back in front, thinking Waldron was going to cut, but he never did. Now the puck is lofted off the boards. It's Simonovic, and now Chupani once more. Now Moulton, but Chupani's offside. And so he'll have to come back over the blue line. He'll just go for a change instead. And now it's Zach Sharp. Sharp hits the red line and throws it in. Bruveris holds for a moment, leaves it off for Simonovic. Colby Ambrosio, backwards pass to Caragiello through the middle of the ice. Now Ryan Sullivan plays it deep. Caragiello once again will play it around for Simonovic on the near half wall. Sullivan cross-checked there by Krusberg-Rosine. Falls to the ice, but no penalty coming, and Miami just has to get back to work. Krusberg-Rosine plays it up for Hakkarainen. Now he gets the puck back on a give and go. He gets around Moulton. We'll see if he can make it to the front of the net. He does, but he's unable to keep the puck on his stick as it was rolling on him. And now it's Simonovic behind his net. Kramer able to keep the puck in, and now it's Hakkarainen. Plays it over. Now it's Wash. Good save by the right with the right pad by Bruveris. A good tic-tac-toe play by the Broncos.
I was going to say it was a good decision by Bruno Bruveris to not come out and play that puck. It seemed to work. It's a gamble situation for the goalie, and he made the right decision there.
RedHawks will just dump it down, though able to get a change, though, as it hits the net instead of the end wall, which would have been an icing. Michael Quinn tries to anticipate a pass to, that was Hendricks in front of the WMU net. Now it's Sidlowski. Nossen loses his stick. Sidlowski plays up for Scholand. Now goes cross ice for Väisänen. Now Sidlowski, he fires off the crossbar and out of play. So another good chance for WMU. And with 4:36 remaining, it's still WMU 4, RedHawks 1 as we hit our second media timeout of the period. You're listening to Miami RedHawks Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. Back here at Steve Coach Cady Arena for the final 4:36 of the second period. Broncos up 4-1 on the RedHawks and pouring it on in terms of quality chances. Shots are 16-11 in favor of the visitors. WMU wins the offensive zone draw. Väisänen carries it center point. Plays it down for Scholand. Scholand plays that one toward the net, but there's nobody there for the rebound. And now it's Max Dukovac and Waldron on a 2-on-1. Dukovac down the far side. He holds. Fire, scores! So right out of the second media timeout, Max Dukovac and Johnny Waldron spring loose. And Dukovac decides not to pass as the WMU defender was playing the pass about as well as you could, and he took advantage, scoring the second goal of the game for the RedHawks on their 12th shot.
Yeah, what a great play by Dukovac there. You saw the Western Michigan defenseman choose to take away the pass, and their other defenseman was on the back check coming as hard as he could, but Dukovac outskated him, kind of used his body, and a great shot just over the pad to put the RedHawks just two back here of the Broncos.
So only down two now, like you mentioned, Luke. 4-2 is our score here at Goggin Ice Center. Another unassisted goal for the RedHawks. That's two this game. Both have been unassisted. First one, Colby Ambrosio. This one, Max Dukovac, as now the Redhawks get back to work. As Chupani, he's walled off there. Good play by Zach Sharp in the middle of the offensive zone. And now it's Alex Bump the other way. Bump holds, tries and drags it through Moulton, but good stick play there by the defenseman from Nolensville, Tennessee, my neck of the woods. Now it's Costantini. Plays it back for Krusberg-Rosine. Far point now, we'll just send it down low where Owen Michaels is there to meet it. Turnover behind the Redhawks net. It's Waldron, plays it up for Colby Ambrosio. Waldron's gonna go for a change, and it's just Ambrosio and Chupani. Now WMU comes the other way. It's Kramer. Kramer holds, finds Lakinski, hits off his skate. Dangerous play there, but the Redhawks able to mitigate. And a weird play in front scores. Just a nothing burger for WMU, and it hit off a stick in front. I don't think Bruveris was ready for it. And it's going to be Zach Naring, his second goal of the game. And his second goal that Bruveris probably wants back.
Yeah, both of Naren's goals probably entered the net in the exact same location. That one just a nice deflection. That's what happens when you get pucks to the net. Anything can happen, surprise attacks. And then I know I sound like a broken record, but that all starts with Alex Bump forcing the neutral zone, making a nice little stick play, and entering the zone to get it set up for that goal.
It was Matt Chupani who was trying to tie the stick up in front. It was Naring in a battle with him and just had his stick on the ice. And like you said, you're getting pucks to the net. Good things happen as WMU gets the puck right back. Although they go offside, it was Tim Wash, I should say, who was offside. And now, fourth line of the Redhawks trying to get something back here, but Hakkinen shoots. That one's just wide of the net. Hakkarainen gets the first shot on net and a goal. It's Wash in front, puck bouncing. Another weird goal in front where the Redhawks just are not able to get a stick on it. And just like that, it's 6-2.
Yeah, I believe Tim Wash there batted that one out of the air. That goal is just a result of the Broncos outworking the Redhawks there, forcing the issue. We saw Valente, I believe it was, just drive the middle of the net, or Lemire, I believe it was, and split the gap between those two defensemen, just outworking the Redhawks here tonight.
It was Hakkarainen, Wash, and Lemire, that third line for Pat Ferschweiler, and like you said, Luke, just outworking the Redhawks on that shift. You get a goal to go down 2, and then all of a sudden, two pucks end up in the back of your net, and you're down 4.
Yeah, I mean, the Broncos are doing a better job getting to the front of the net, and we've seen nice goals tonight. We've seen gritty goals tonight. It doesn't matter how you do them. It just matters how many you have, and the Broncos finding every single type of way you can to get pucks through and get goals on the board against Bruno Bruveris.
And another goal right off the face-off. My goodness, the Broncos are pouring it on here. Was not expecting that. It was Ty Hendricks, the freshman, formerly of the Muskegon Lumberjacks, has 5 goals on the year, now 6. That is unbelievable. Wasn't even looking. And we're going to get a goaltending change here as Brett Miller's going to come in for Bruno Bruveris. Yeah, I was looking at the replay here on my computer, and all of a sudden the puck's in the back of the net.
Yeah, I don't even think Bruveris saw that for 1 second. Kind of shows that getting pucks to the net, as we talked about before, Hendricks just as quick as you can off the faceoff, right off the back bar. Bruveris has no chance as he sits on the bench tonight after allowing 7 goals, 6 of them coming in the second period.
So Ty Hendricks, as WMU gets back to work, it's Alex Bump. Bump brings it in front and just misses on the backhand. Now it's Bump once more. Shot, that one's saved. Väisänen with the one-timer. I believe it might have been blocked. Costantini now tries to wrap it around, gets a rebound, holds, waits, fires. That one's saved by the right pad of Brett Miller. So Miller comes into this game and he is absolutely peppered within the first 30 seconds, as now this first line for WMU gets back to work again. Nice toe drag move by Bump. He's pressured there by 3 Redhawks, and now it's Dylan Moulton the other way. Moulton is walled off there by Zach Sharp. It's just a shocking turn of events. Play out in front. Slukinski doesn't have it. It's loose in the crease. Man, this game has really opened up. As the last time these two teams played, Miami lost the Friday game at Western Michigan in Kalamazoo 8-3. As Rydquist gets a shot on net, and Slukinski saves that one right in the breadbasket. Yeah, 8-3 was the final score of the Friday game the last time these two teams played.
But Jeff, for a majority of this game, it really was not out of hand.
No, yeah,
you
certainly.
could see the goals pile up real fast,
Certainly.
and that's something the RedHawks got to work on.
And it was not Bruveris in net on that Friday game. It was Ethan Dahlmeyer, who was returning from an injury, had a very uncharacteristic game against WMU. Most of the goals that he had, I mean, he saw 36 total shots, so of course that doesn't help anything. But he allowed 6 goals before being pulled, and most of them were just uncharacteristic, kind of like the 2 Naring goals against Bruveris, just kind of goals that squeaked through the arm as we are in the last minute of this second period. Score went from 4-2, and now it's 7-2 in favor of the Broncos as Kramer tries to drag the puck around Chupani and ends up shooting it right into his shin pad.
Yeah, we see Max Dukovic there opting to go back into his own zone to try to create more space, running into the ref. Sometimes it's better to just kind of get the puck deep off the boards. That one kind of costed him there.
So Dahlmeyer played 50 minutes of that Friday game, came back from an injury, did not have a good game. 6 goals against on 36 total shots, and of course it's tough when you're facing 36 shots, but Bruveris played 947 of that game, allowed 2 goals on 3 shots, so he has struggled against WMU in the past, and you've seen that here tonight, a couple bad goals that he's certainly going to want back. Of course, you can't really do anything about those, the last one especially, just a weird one that he can't see, ends up going back bar, but nonetheless, a couple of those goals are saved, and this game looks a little different. Nonetheless, we get back to the action here as WMU tries to wrap it around. I believe that was Sidlowski. RedHawks unable to clear. Brett Miller has it stuck in his pad. It's sitting in the crease, and it's under Miller, and an absolute fracas in front of the RedHawks net, and it has been all WMU outside of the one Dukovac goal.
Yeah, Brett Miller getting a healthy welcome from the Broncos getting into this game, just getting absolutely peppered, not only by pucks but by people as he winds up on his back there. We see the Broncos going with this look off the faceoff where they drag the defenseman on the boards down and they put the forward at the top of the circle, trying to get that one-timer right off the draw. Obviously, they scored 1 goal off it already, but Interesting look from the Broncos.
The design face-off plays are always interesting, vary from team to team as RedHawks do win that one back, but instead, WMU is able to create a turnover. Väisänen fires. That one saved by Miller, and Miller had trouble with it, and not sure Pat Ferschweiler's happy that the whistle was blown as Miller kind of pounced on it and then lost it, and it was out of his glove, but the play was blown dead.
Yeah, looking a little shaky there. I mean, not much of a screen in front, kind of right in the breadbasket, but I would be shaky too if I came in the game and got peppered right away, so Miami's got to really help out their goaltender here.
Another face-off win by WMU. It's Väisänen. He carries center. Slot scores! With 5.5 seconds remaining, it's Joona Väisänen, the freshman from Kirkkonummi, Finland, scores his 3rd goal of the season, his 22nd point. And wow, this period has just taken a turn for the worse. It's 8-2 WMU.
I mean, how many times have we seen a face-off win by the Broncos in their O-zone and the D? Väisänen creating space for himself and a lot of traffic in front. Brett Miller again, I don't think he saw that very well as we had a moving screen. So the floodgates have opened here at Goggin Ice Arena.
Yeah, there were 2 players. It was Kasper Nassen who was supposed to be on Väisänen and for some reason just didn't move his legs and try and get a stick on him, but Raymond Vitalin's also trying to take advantage and slide in for a block, but likely prevented Brett Miller from seeing the puck, and it's worth mentioning Bruno Bruveris extremely unhappy on the Miami bench after that goal, slammed his blocker into the glass and just walked back to the locker room. So we'll see how that develops. Obviously, he's not going to come back into the game, but, you know, it's clearly a frustrated Miami team, and you know, this is your last weekend of the season after a couple weekends where you're able to get points and you're able to kind of build some momentum. But then the number 4 team in the country comes into your house, and you know, your first period you end tied, and then you give up 7 in the second.
You know, Jeff, that second period kind of just encapsulated the season it's been for the RedHawks. Anytime they get one goal, one good play to get the crowd back into it, get back in the game, it seems like they're giving up a goal just a minute later, just 30 seconds later. So, not a great period for the RedHawks, giving up 7 goals, not helping out their goalie. It's hard to know what to say to your guys in the locker room if you're head coach Anthony Oreen. You got to say, especially to the guys, it's their last weekend. You don't have a lot more time playing college hockey, playing hockey that matters. So leave it all out there and play for the M on the front of the jersey.
Exactly right. And you know, like you said, Luke, it's going to be interesting to hear what Anthony Noreen has to say after this game, especially considering the number of goals. You don't really see that ever in any level of hockey, let alone college hockey. Of course, you know, Miami has had struggles with giving up goals in spurts this year, and you know, 2 of them in that period gave up 7 as we enter the final 20 minutes of this game, the final Friday of the season for the RedHawks. So when we come back, Aiden Sones has your intermission report. Plenty to report on in terms of scoring. He will have that covered for you all. And then the final period of this first game of the doubleheader. Name's Jeff Middleton alongside Luke Lewis. We'll be back with you for the third on Red Hawk Radio.
It is the second intermission, and 8-2 is your score currently. Western Michigan Broncos outscoring the Miami RedHawks. Yes, that means Western Michigan scored 7 goals compared to Miami's 1 last period. Now, before we get to the doom and gloom of the period that just occurred, let's talk about did or did not mention Max Dukovac to be a key player to watch this series, his goal being the only goal that the RedHawks scored this period. Now, for the Western Michigan Broncos, I should say, we have a few goals won by Zach Sharp, 2 from number 8, Zach Neering, 1 goal by Tim Walsh, another goal by Rangers draft pick in the 2023 draft, Ty Hendricks, 1 goal by the Toronto Maple Leafs 2020 draft pick, Wyatt Shinguthi, number 27 right defenseman drafted by the Pittsburgh Penguins in the 2024 draft, Jona Vizinen. And finally, number 20, drafted by the Philadelphia Flyers, the assistant captain for the Western Michigan Broncos, Alex Bump. Now, speaking of Alex Bump, he is one of the key players for the Western Michigan Broncos. I was going to point out during the pregame show, but due to technical difficulties, I'll mention it now. Alex Bump, the left winger, number 20, 6'2", 200-pound sophomore from Prior Lake, Minnesota, who's drafted in the 5th round of the 2022 draft by the Philadelphia Flyers and has almost 100 extra shots on goal than anyone else on the team. This season, he has 16 goals, 20 assists for 36 points. He already tied his points from last year in which he had 14 goals, 22 assists for 36 points. Last year, he was on the NCHC All-Rookie team, where he was a finalist for NCHC Rookie of the Year. He was also the NCHC Rookie of the Month in February. He had 7 multi-point games, 5 points in the NCHC quarterfinals against St. Cloud State. In high school, he had 147 points in 75 games. He was named the 2022 USA Today Hockey Player of the Year because of that. And he played 16 games with the Tri-City Storm. Now, if that sounds familiar to you, that is where Coach Noreen coached right before he went to Miami. So yes, Coach Noreen did coach Alex Bump for a brief 16-game stint. Now, I know we mentioned Zach Nearing as scoring one of the goals, but let's mention his line mate instead of talking about the right winger. We talk about the left winger, who already has an assist because of Nearing's goal, that being Liam Valentine. Left winger, 6 foot, 190 pounds, junior from Marsta, Sweden. This season he has 12 goals, 12 assists for 24 points. He spent last 2 seasons at Providence, where he did 59 games played, 7 goals, 13 assists, and 20 points. And in the 2021-2022 season with Linköping HC U20, 44 games, 19 goals, 26 assists for 45 points. Another stat that really caught my eye, 25 plus minus. He is a very defensive-minded left winger. Finally, also on that line with Zach Nearing and Liam Valentine, that being number 13, Grant Slukunski. Slukunski is the center for the second line of the Western Michigan Broncos. 6'1", 205-pound sophomore from Warroad, Minnesota. This season he has 6 goals, 20 assists for 26 points. And he previously played for Northern Michigan in 34, which he had 34 games with 9 points, being 6 goals, 3 assists. In the juniors, he was the captain of the Sussex City Musketeers. And with 21 goals and 27 assists, he got 48 points in 61 games. He also won the Clark Cup with the Musketeers. Now, Slukinski, if that name sounds familiar, that's because the starting goalie for the Western Michigan Broncos, Hampton Slukinski, they're brothers. And he is also normally on the same line as Valentine and Nearing. Also from the pregame show, I have some keys of the game. But these keys of the game, I noticed, can also apply to this third period as well. For the RedHawks, they need to work on limiting shots on goal. Western Michigan already has 23 shots on goal compared to Miami's 14. They need to get face-offs. Although they are winning the face-off category currently, they still need as much puck possession as they can. So limiting it even further would lessen the damage that has already occurred with this 6-goal lead. They also need to continue to apply pressure in the mid-game. I noticed that Miami is really good to start off a period and really good to finish a period. It's that middle stretch that they've really seemed to struggle, especially with the endurance of running back and forth, especially with this speedy Western Michigan Broncos team. And finally, they somehow need to get past that ultimate goalie tandem consistently, that being Hampton Slukinski today, but also Cameron Rowe. Both are really good. Again, they lead the NCHC in goals against average. That's right, a goalie tandem. Both of them are leading them in that stat. Now, for Western Michigan, I don't think they need a key of the game right now. They're currently winning 8-2. But if you are Western Michigan, you need to try to start off early. They got to be more offensively minded against the struggling RedHawks. So there's no need to worry on relying on goaltending. They seem to keep applying pressure on the crease and seems to doing a lot well for them. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Finally, before we go back for the third intermission, time to go over some other NCAA hockey games. In the top 25, number 5 Maine is at number 16 Massachusetts. Number 16 Massachusetts is beating them 4-0. Number 15 Penn State is against number 11 Michigan, tied 3-3 at halfway through the third period. Wisconsin is at number 9 Ohio State, but an upset alert, Wisconsin. The Badgers are winning 3-0 just to start of the third period. Another upset, New Hampshire is beating UMass Lowell, the number 17 team in the country, and it just ended the second period, 3-0. And in the first period, Lake Superior State against number 14 Michigan State. Minnesota State. Minnesota State is winning 2-1. And now, before we wrap up this second intermission report, let's go over the NCHC games. In the NCHC, there's only 2 other games going on so far. That being Omaha against number 18 North Dakota. Halfway through the second period, and North Dakota is winning 1-0. Finally, Minnesota Duluth, the team that the RedHawks played last series, is at St. Cloud State, and it's tied 0-0 as the game has just started. Coming up, another noteworthy game in the NCHC at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Number 20, Colorado College, is at number 7, Denver. It's a battle for Colorado as those both top 25 teams square off. With 4 minutes remaining in the second intermission, that will wrap up the second intermission report. Again, my name is Aiden Sones. In a few minutes, we'll go back to Jeff and Luke.
Back here for the final frame in the final Friday of the season. Jeff Middleton alongside Luke Lewis as WMU finds themselves up 8-2 after a smattering of goals all in succession in that second period. And Luke, we talked about it before the break, but again, we know how talented this Western Michigan team is, and Miami dejected, but really needs to come out in this period and play for pride, play for the logo that's on front of your jersey, because like you said, there's a lot of players on this roster that won't have another season of college hockey, and this weekend's going to be make or break.
Yeah, and we saw it in the second period, how the first few minutes of the frame can kind of decide the period and really set the stereotype for what the period's going to look like. Western Michigan came out firing last period, and Miami's going to have to do the same here. Can they come back from 8-2? Probably not, but can they build some momentum for tomorrow and play for some pride and really play some meaningful hockey? Absolutely.
So as we enter this third period, only 4 players on the Western Michigan roster do not have a point in this game. The leaders are Grant Slukinsky, who has 3 assists. Second is a tie between Zach Naring, who has 2 goals, and Wash and Bump, who both have a goal and an assist. So play is underway. Miami moving right to left. Western Michigan moving left to right. As it's this first line, we've talked about it all night. Michaels, Bump, and Costantini, guys who have been all around it. And here's Bump once again on the far side. He's unable to corral the puck, and it's Richard Simonovic will just take it around. Rim it all the way where Christoph Filion's there to meet it. In the neutral zone, it's Bump once more. Takes the puck off his stick, but only momentarily as Kasper Nassen gains through neutral ice. Nassen walled off there by Slukinsky. Now Slukinsky has the puck, plays it wide for Krosberg-Rosen. He plays it back for Kramer. Now back to Rosine. Rosine unable to corral the pass through his legs. Tried to play it on the backhand, but ends up squirting back out to the neutral zone. He'll just dump it in, and it's going to be Valente who's there to meet it. Slukinsky in the near corner. Plays it down low for Naring. 2 goals on the night for Naring, both probably goals that Bruno Braveris wants back. He was pulled after the 7th goal. Now it's Brett Miller in net, who allowed the 8th goal with 5.5 seconds remaining in that second period to make it 8-2. Vitalis finds John Emmons in the neutral zone. He'll just dump it in, and play will be called offside, as I believe Matt Chupani was just a step ahead.
Another good hit there by Spencer Cox. He's making his presence felt on the physicality side of things. And I know we've talked a lot about tonight, but Alex Bump, you could just see the separation he creates, especially right after he enters the zone. He set up a lot of goals tonight by giving guys on his team more space, and really good with the puck and puck protecting.
Cox, the extra skater tonight for Miami, playing right now out with Michael Quinn. Quinn originally paired with Connor Hutchison on the lineup card tonight. Yeah, we've seen Cox play as Waldron. Shot, that one saved by Slukinsky. Rebound sitting in the crease. Chupani unable to corral it. He'll play it up to Cox on the near point. He'll fire, and that one's blockered away. Rebound sitting in the crease once again. It's Dukovac in front. Chupani also got a stick on it, but it was sent wide. As Zach Sharp, believe he got a body on it. Now it's just played to the far half wall, where Michael Quinn's there to meet it. Now Chupani in the corner. He's pinned against the wall by Sharp. 2-on-2 battle is, I believe it's Waldron in there as the extra Miami forward, and then it's Robbie Drasner. As now WMU comes out the other way. It's Hakarainen will just float it in deep. Brett Miller watches it go to the far corner. And this third line for Pat Ferschweiler is going to get to work. The sign in is turns the puck over, and there's going to be a power play for Miami. Max Dukovac is tripped up. I believe it's going to be Ty Henricks, the New York Rangers draft pick, also has a goal tonight. He's going to go to the box for tripping.
Yeah, not the worst penalty we've seen. It looked like Dukovac was going to have a break there. Almost looked like it was about to be a carbon copy of his goal in the second period. But Hendricks sits, and we'll see if the RedHawks can get on the board here.
So first unit out for head coach Anthony Oreen and the power play coach Troy Thibodeau, also the associate head coach, but he runs the power play. It's going to be Raymond Svatalins, Braden Morrison, Ryan Sullivan, Matt Chupani, and Connor Hutchison. WMU wins the faceoff. A big part of tonight has been faceoffs. We saw it in that second period. A lot of offensive zone faceoff wins for WMU. You talked about it earlier, Luke, just how those can create goals, and they sure did. And once again, as Matt Chupani breaks through the line of defense, backhand place, scores! Raymond Svatalins finds himself on the back end of a great play by Matt Chupani. And a power play goal gives the RedHawks their third of the game. 8-3 our score, 17:08 remaining in the third. And again, great play from Matt Chupani on that zone entry.
Yeah, that's a pretty popular outcome, especially we see in the NHL on that slingshot play. We see guys like McDavid, McKinnon, who drive the middle of the ice, and oftentimes they kick it out, but in some cases they decide, try to make a move and beat the defender. Great play by Chupani as he was able to evade the first defender. Vitallens was left all alone, and an excellent pass. Great work there by Matt Chupani to get that all set up.
And Brian Kramer had to commit to the pass, or the player, and instead he committed to the player, leaving Vitallens wide open on the back door. And Miami scores a power play goal for their third goal of the game. Hampton Slukinski blockers that one away. A shot by Messenberg in the neutral zone. And now it's Una Vasainen, or Vaisinen, I should say. Pittsburgh Penguins draft pick will just send it in deep. And it's Zach Naring there to meet it. Naring has his rim around attempt block, and instead it's Sam Scholin, the Stockholm, Sweden native, plays it cross ice for Vaisinen, and he'll play it up for Naring. Naring to Slukinski. Now it's Valente. Valente has his pocket picked by Frankie Caragiuelo. Now Ryan Sullivan gets in on the forecheck against Zach Sharp, and he's able to create a turnover, but not before Sharp is able to come in and help his teammate out and play it over to Valente on the near side of the neutral zone. Moulton taps that one forward, but a quick play there by Owen Michaels, able to create a turnover, and instead the puck is loose and goes back to Moulton, and he'll just play catch with Spencer Cox. Cox finds Colby Ambrosio, and Ambrosio will just take it around the center M. Backhand sauce it to Moulton, and Moulton will play it up for Ambrosio once more. Ambrosio holds, just fires that one on net. It's blocked to the near corner, where Robbie Drasner, once again the former Red Hawk, transferred for his graduate student year after last year. Alex Bump makes a nice move, toe drag, wrist shot. That one's just wide to the glove side of Brett Miller. Once again, a great move by Alex Bump, finds himself with the puck and evades a defender for a good shot, for a good chance in the Red Hawk zone. Bump plays it up for Zidlowski. Zidlowski walled off there by Hutchison, a good physical play there. And now it's Michael Quinn, comes out of the Red Hawk zone. John Emmons will just float that one deep. Kramer's there to meet it for WMU. He's hit hard there by Emmons, but able to play it to a teammate before so. Turnover on the near half wall, finds Vitallens. Hutchison with the pass shot. That one's saved by the left's pad. Vitallens with a one-timer. That one's sent wide. Slukinski dealing with a little bit of a frenzy here by the Red Hawks, looking to pry themselves back into this game. One goal at a time. Now Zidlowski will cross the center M and just send it in deep, go for a change as Michael Quinn's there to gather. Max Dukovac not able to play it between his legs, but gets the puck anyway as John Emmons finds him, and he'll cross the blue line into the Red Hawks offensive zone. He's hit hard there. Good play by Tim Wash, as now it's Shingothi the other way. Shingothi lost it for a moment and has his pocket picked again by Johnny Waldron. Matt Chupani across the red will just play it for Hampus Rydquist. Rydquist with a spin pass to nobody. It goes to the far side. Caragiuelo's there to meet it on the far point, and he'll play it low for Waldron. Waldron trying to find Chupani on the near side. Chupani passes it right to a Bronco, and they'll come out the other way. Now it's Shingothi. Shingothi makes a nice move around one. Puck is sitting in front, but ends up rolling wide of the crease. Brett Miller not forced to make a save there as the Redhawks come out the other way. Johnny Waldron on the center M will just float it in deep and go for a change. Robbie Drasner now plays it off the wall, trying to find Owen Michaels. Had it for a moment, but Cosentini's there for reinforcements. And now Messenberg will just play it up forward before this first line gets back to work for WMU. Battle along the wall ends up on the stick of Simonovic. A little catch there with his defensive partner, that was Christoph Filion, not his partner Moulton. And a misplaced pass by Simonovic off the boards, trying to find Filion, but just goes a little bit too far, and that'll be icing.
Yeah, Miami's got to get the puck in the zone and get it deep a little sooner in their shifts. We saw a little bit ago, Colby Ambrosio had a chance to get it deep and get in on the forecheck, but decided to spin back, play with the puck a little. And then when he was eventually able to get the puck deep, the Miami forecheck was non-existent. Everyone was tired, and they went to the bench. So a hard forecheck basically needs to start more at the beginning of the shift, get it in deep, while you have energy and put pressure on the D.
Blake Messenberg to take the draw against Grant Slukinski. A little bit of a tie-up, ends up going to the far side, and the puck is sent all the way down. It will not be icing, as Krusberg-Rosine was able to get there just before it hit the goal line. Rosine plays it across for Kramer. Kramer fires that one in, but Quinn stops it, and he'll just send it into his own bench. And we're going to have another defensive zone draw.
Pretty good start to the period here for Miami. I mean, shots, they're only down 6 in the shots department. You wouldn't really believe this game was a 5-goal game. It was just those few minutes in the end of the second period where they kind of lost it. I wouldn't say they gave up, but you got to be able to refocus after some of those goals and get it back.
So they will jump around here at Steve Coach Cady Arena as we hit our first media timeout with 12:58 remaining in the third period. You're listening to Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. .58 remaining in the third period. Score 8-3 in favor of the visiting WMU Broncos. My name is Jeff Middleton alongside Luke Lewis as we get set for a little bit over halfway remaining in this period. Third period goal by the RedHawks on the power play. Raymond Vitalans assisted by Matt Chupani. The first goal for the RedHawks tonight that has an assist attached to it. As the first two were unassisted, it was Colby Ambrosio late in the first and then Max Dukovac in the second. Although that happened, and then WMU came right back with some spurts of their own, scoring 7 in the second. As we are back underway, it's Cam Newble in the corner, battling fiercely with 3 RedHawks. And WMU is able to come out with it as it's Krusberg-Rosine. Krusberg-Rosine makes a move, and that one's deflected away. Good stick there. I believe it was either Ryan Sullivan or Connor Hutchison that was able to make a play in the middle of the slot. Frankie Caragiello holds for a moment, gives off to Colby Ambrosio near side. Ambrosio stops in the offensive zone, and will just rim it around as Kramer's there to meet it for WMU. Not able to corral it, though. And instead, he's taken down along with a RedHawk. I believe that's Ryan Sullivan. It is. Now Ambrosio tries to play it up to the point. But that's Wash there to meet there first. Ambrosio just tries to play it out, but instead it's Shingothi that meets him. Shingothi gives off to Sholin, fires, that one's just wide. Brett Miller did not see it as there was traffic in front, a dangerous shot. Had that hit the net, it's likely a goal, and the RedHawks are just going to ice the puck with 11:41 remaining in this third period.
Yeah, that was a really good play by Wyatt Shingothi there, kind of draw the defender in and cut back. We obviously saw the great ones back in the day like Gretzky, and we see Crosby do it a lot. Just, it's almost similar in basketball, drive it and push out. And Sholin, I mean, that one almost snuck in. Brett Miller did not see it. Great shot from the point.
Shingothi tonight has been excellent. We've talked about him a lot. Again, he's the extra skater for Pat Ferschweiler, but, you know, watching him tonight, you wouldn't think so. 1 goal tonight, only 5 points on the season as a shot from Sholin at the point is blocked away. I believe a RedHawk got in the way. As now it's Tim Wash. Wash up to Sholin, gives over to his partner. He fires for the save. That was Una Väisänen. Väisänen also with the goal, scored the goal with 5.5 seconds left in that last period. Yeah, Shingothi has been really strong. Played for the Waterloo Blackhawks, the alma mater of Johnny Waldron on the RedHawks. So these two are familiar with each other. Nonetheless, Shingothi, you would not imagine if you come to this game as just a neutral observer and someone tells you that this number 18 kid's only got 5 points and 2 goals on the season in 22 games. I think you'd have a hard time believing that. He's been excellent tonight. Another WMU offensive zone win as it's Vicenen. He'll play it to the net. Saved there by Brett Miller. And Raymond's Vitalin's just going to backhand that one out of the zone. Scholin's there to collect for WMU, and they'll come the other way. Good breakout, but a big hit there by Spencer Cox. Loves the physicality. Casper Nossen just plays it off the wall. Tried to find Emmons on a ricochet, but it's just a little bit too far ahead of him. Now Alex Bump. He takes a bump and gives it off to Costantini. Spencer Cox just plays it out to the neutral zone, and Zach Sharp's there to play it, and he'll just send it in deep. Connor Hutchison behind the RedHawks net, plays it over for Cox, but it bounces over his stick, and Alex Bump is there to meet it. Raymond's Vitalins will just flip that one out, take out the lob wedge, and play it out to the neutral zone. And it ends up out of play, so we will get a neutral zone draw here.
Yeah, I just want to highlight Uno Vicenen, man, the Pittsburgh Penguin draft pick, 2004 birth year. His edge work has been on display tonight. We saw it in his goal, just creating space for himself, and he is not afraid to make offensive plays as a defenseman. As we kind of see the game shifting more towards that, guys like Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes, if you have an offensive type of defenseman who can join the play and make plays, that makes all the difference.
That's right. He was able to carry that puck on that last goal, able to carry the puck right into the slot. Not really any contention from the RedHawks. And you see the kind of finishing talent that's on this WMU team. Obviously excellent systematically, but and when they get chances like that, like every other NCHC team, of course, but something about these Broncos, they just are able to put the puck in the back of the net no matter the situation. As they do go offside here, and 10-12 remaining in this third period. Obviously, like you said at the beginning of this period, it's hard to imagine that Miami's going to score 5 goals in 10 minutes, but you know, the effort has been better this third period, I think. I mean, as far as I've seen, curious to hear your opinion on it, Luke, but yeah, as far as the effort goes, it's, you know, there's been a lot more time in the offensive zone for Miami, for sure.
I mean, you're absolutely right. If you take the first period and the third period, obviously you need to play all 3 periods strongly, but, I mean, they're right there with them, and it was just, I mean, maybe a span of 8 minutes. It was the difference in this game tonight, so something that Coach Narin's going to have to look at.
And we've mentioned it time and time again as the play goes offside once again and on the Broncos' blue line, but mentioned it throughout this broadcast, and, you know, me, you, Luke Westpoli, all of us here on Red Hawk Radio that have been to these games have talked about that this Miami team can play with anybody, but the problem is that you have streaks and spurts of the other team converting on every chance you give them, and, you know, against teams like North Dakota, Denver, Colorado College, WMU, it just can't happen.
Yeah, they play in such a tough conference here. You got to play 60 minutes every single night, and when they're not able to do that, the talent on display in this conference will make you pay in 2 seconds.
Of course, it's interesting, another team that has done that to these RedHawks this year, ASU, and ASU in addition to this conference this year. And because of that addition, the Miami RedHawks are not going to play in the NCHC postseason, as there was going to be a play-in between the 2 teams at the bottom. But that rule was eventually changed, and so instead Miami's season is just going to be over after this weekend. That was a little bit of an iffy change at the middle point of this season, but nonetheless, it's one that's going to stick around. So Miami already officially eliminated from the NCHC postseason, but you know, the addition of Arizona State, a team that gave the RedHawks, I should say, fits this year in their one meeting, you know, the reason for Miami not participating in any more hockey games after this weekend. Nonetheless, it's WMU coming out of their own zone. 8:45 remaining here in the third period. Our score 8-3. We appreciate you spending your Friday night with us. Always happy to be in the perch here at Goggin Ice Center watching some Miami hockey. No matter the score, it's Tim Walsh, the captain of WMU, plays it up forward. It's Hakkarainen gets there first to cancel out the icing. His backhand play ends up over on the far half wall. Ryan Sullivan, the captain of these RedHawks, going to be graduating at the end of this year, so the last few games for him, a national champion with the University of Massachusetts Minutemen in his freshman year. Transferred to Miami last year under head coach Chris Bergeron, and has found a home here with head coach Anthony Noreen. It's John Emmons now, the freshman, two different sides of the spectrum as we talk about graduate students that are leaving the program and freshmen who are just coming in. Emmons has the puck pinned along the wall. A quick play out by WMU will just send it out to the RedHawks zone, and it's rolling puck ends up on the stick of Hampus Rydquist. Zane Dempsey plays off for Vitalin's near side. Vitalin's with a soft pass to the middle, but Zach Sharp's the only man there, and he gives off for Alex Bump. Bump pressured there hard by Spencer Cox. He takes him out of the play. Dempsey fans on the first pass and gives over to Emmons on the far side. Don't think Bump was super pleased with Cox after the big hit on the end wall, but nonetheless, Bump is just going to go for a change. Naring, pressured by Dukovac. A little bit of a close play, almost a trip, but nothing doing as he gives over. And a play made to the net. That was Grant Slukienski, and Brett Miller's down. A hard play by Spencer Cox. Looks like he shoved Slukienski into his own goaltender, and that's not good for Miami, as Breveris already pulled tonight, and fortunately Brett Miller up on his feet and just kind of shaken up a little bit, understandably so.
Yeah, just a hard play by Grant Slukienski there to drive the net. We see that all the time. The defender, makes a play on the guy and then pushes him into your own goalie. At first glance, you're like, how is that not goaltender interference? But if you make contact first, you initiate it. There's nothing the officials can do. But we see Grant Slukienski, as I butcher his name once again. He really plays with some speed, and we see him all over the ice, just an absolute grinder, getting in on the forecheck, and proving why he's second-line center for this number 4 team in the country.
And it's interesting when you think about how you approach that play. If you're Spencer Cox, do you try and take him out fully and prevent a goal, or do you, kind of just push him a little bit and see what happens? Because if you don't push him enough, he probably ends up with the puck on the backside and puts it in backhand. So it's an interesting play. Obviously, you never want to shove another player into your own goalie for obvious reasons, but nonetheless, Spencer Cox had to make a decision, and he did, as Shingothi once again getting lots of ice time, backhands it on net, and Brett Miller makes the save, and we will reach our final media timeout of this game. 6:56 remaining in the third period. Scores 8-3 in favor of the visiting Broncos. You're listening to Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. The final 6:56 of the final Friday game for the Miami RedHawks. My name's Jeff Middleton alongside Luke Lewis. So we get set in this 8-3 game in favor of WMU. Shots are 29-19. Brett Miller in for Bruno Breveris after he was pulled. Hampton Slukienski 3 goals against on 19 shots, 16 saves for the freshman netminder. Will be the captain of WMU, Tim Wash, against Blake Messenberg, but he was kicked out, so now it's Braden Morrison in the Miami defensive zone. Puck is dropped, tie up there. Morrison ends up kicking it right to the stick of Dylan Moulton, and he'll just dump it out of the zone, and WMU comes back the other way. Hakkarainen will just send it out of play after his attempted pass was deflected by Moulton. And we'll get another defensive zone draw for the RedHawks.
Yeah, the Broncos kind of switching up their look there on the draw. They kind of went away from leaving that forward at the top of the circle, probably realizing we're up 5 goals with 6 minutes left. We don't need to keep peppering it on them, but just something that I observed here.
Yeah, hard to imagine that, WMU is going to be pushing super hard here, and, we see this first line out there as Alex Bump has that puck knock off his skate, and now it's a neutral zone. Quick play there. It was Vicenen trying to plays it up. It's Morrison now. He's got his stick lifted from behind. A good back check there. I believe that was Tristan Lemire. And now it's Owen Michaels the other way down the near side. Michaels tries to make a move through Dylan Moulton, and usually that's not a good idea, as Moulton is a big man on the back end for Miami. Broncos still have possession though. It's Bump. Tries to play a pass through Morrison, but has that deflected, and Bump will just throw it in hard around. Blake Messenberg just lets it go out of the zone, and now battle ensues in front of the referee's crease, or in the referee's crease, I should say, in neutral ice. Robbie Drasner plays it cross ice for Zach Sharp. Sharp will just dump it in deep. Connor Hutchison there for the Redhawks. Pressured by Nearing, and Nearing's able to create a turnover. Slukinsky there. He pins Hutchison against the wall and ends up with the puck in the near corner. Slukinsky plays it back and gets it back. Tries and plays it cross ice for Sharp. He does. Sharp plays it in front and just missed. The hat-trick goal was Zach Nearing, and that puck is sent out of play by Miami's Connor Hutchison.
Yeah, nice work by Sharp there. We saw him joining the play a lot. These Western Michigan D, as I talked about, Vasaninen, and then we see Scholin as well. They really like to join the play. Even Zach Sharp got all the way down in the corner on that one, so I'm sure that that's something they preach in their locker room, is get in the play and be offensive as a defenseman.
Yeah, we saw Sharp's goal come at the bottom of the face-off circle, which, not a usual thing, as we got 2 false starts here. We already mentioned it before. These NCHC linesmen, they will not let you cheat. Face-off is tied up. Messenberg able to just scoop that one back, and now it's Dylan Moulton in possession. Goes around his net, tries to backhand it out, but fortunately Blake Messenberg was there to do so after the first attempt didn't reach. Moulton pressured there by Zidlowski. 2-on-2 battle in the corner. It's Hutchison, has his stick lifted by Newble. Now Hutchison gets it back, but he'll play it around, and in first is Krusberg-Rosing. Newble plays it in front. That one is sent wide. That was the defenseman, Brian Kramer. Now it's Newble once more on the near half wall. Good defensive play, though, by Moulton and Frankie Caragiello to work the puck out of the zone. Caragiello goes for a hit on Newble, and they're just tied up together as the Redhawks gain possession. Hutchison off the boards in front of his own net, and it's going to be icing, so no change available for Miami. 4:28 remaining in the third. Score still 8-3.
I think something that we got to see out of Miami here is just to finish this game strong, but try not to do anything out of the ordinary, like run guys or anything like that. When a game is kind of out of hand with this little time left, the last thing you want to see is injuries. So hopefully we just see some clean hockey here and try to build some momentum for tomorrow.
Tomorrow, the final game, we already touched on it, but tomorrow, the final game of the 2024-25 Miami RedHawks hockey season. Once again, it'll be broadcasted here on Red Hawk Radio as Vicenen plays it over to his partner, Sam Scholin. It'll be Luke Westpoli on play-by-play, and I will be back with you on color. Excited for that final game. It's going to be senior night as we honor the seniors on this RedHawks team. WMU really working the cycle here as it's Hakkarainen. He's held and brought down by Blake Messenberg, so WMU is going to get a power play here with 3:56 remaining in the third period.
Yeah, Messenberg getting a little too handsy there. I think he grabbed him. It's when, so we look at the replay here, it's when that opposite hand of the stick kind of wraps around your defender. They're going to call that any day of the week here.
And it's interesting because there were a lot of plays earlier in this game where it didn't really feel like they were going to call a holding penalty. But of course, it also helps that, the WMU player went down. You know, that's always going to help your case and help you draw a power play, as this first power play unit for WMU is going to get to work. Rydquist is able to clear it all the way down, but it's Scholand, Valente, Michaels, Bump, and Constantini on this first power play unit. Killing for the RedHawks is Rydquist, Dempsey, Chupani, and Sullivan. As it's Bump on the far side. Bump plays cross ice for Valente. Good block with the stick there by Dempsey. Now Valente cross ice once again for Bump. Bump to Costantini in the slot. Scholand at the blue line, now back to Bump. Bump far side, plays down low. That one's sent wide. And now it's Valente. Valente to Scholand. Bump calling for it. He fires. That one's blocked by the sliding Rydquist. Now Bump once more on the far half wall. Bump plays it in front for Michaels. Saved by Miller. What a glove grab.
That was a good try there by Michaels. You know, planting himself on the goal line and then a quick stick move, but Miller was up to the task, and a nice glove save out of the goaltender, who just came in after Bruno Viveris. I mean, he really had no chance tonight, and we saw when Brett Miller got put in the game, he got peppered right away.
That's right.
So it's good to see him making saves out there, try to get his confidence back.
So an interesting move here with 1:09 remaining on the penalty kill. WMU's going to go to their second unit. It's Wash to Suklianski on the near point. Over to Väisänen, back to Suklianski. That one's blocked by Waldron. Now it's Nearing, looking for the hat trick. Now Wash. Wash on the near half wall, plays it up for Suklianski. Suklianski back to Wash. In the dot. It's a spin move on Emmons. Unable to keep the puck, but also Emmons unable to clear as of now. A battle ensuing in the corner, but a turnover, and now it's Waldron the other way. Waldron will just send that one all the way down and on net, and the RedHawks will get a change. Now it's Väisänen. Through center ice, plays it out for Zidlowski. Now it's Zach Sharp. Plays down low for Zidlowski. That one's blockered away. It's up at the point for Väisänen once more. Väisänen down low to Henriks. Penalty officially over now, so the RedHawks 2 for 2 on the penalty kill tonight against a really strong Western Michigan team. Great special teams for this number 4 team in the country. And they'll just clear it down and get a change. It's Väisänen to Zidlowski on the near side in the referee's crease. He'll just lob it in. Brett Miller out to play it behind his own net, back to Quinn. Quinn to Nassen. Nassen goes cross ice for Ambrosio. He kicks it, but just a little bit too far. Ends up going all the way down behind the goal. Kasper Nassen unable to corral it, as Alex Bump was giving him a lot of stick wax, and a little bit of a collision between Michael Quinn and Bump through the middle of the ice, and Brett Miller's just going to cover the puck with 1:15 remaining in the third.
It doesn't look like the Broncos are really stopping. They're going to play to the final whistle here.
Yeah, no shortage of cycling and no shortage of great cross-seam passes. Certainly giving them a chance to really work on the power play. Special teams getting more reps in as well. It's going to help them as they enter the conference tournament, and you know, as they look towards the Frozen Four, hoping to end up on the right side of that.
Absolutely. I mean, the difference between we've seen this Broncos team and maybe like a Denver team from 2 weeks ago. Obviously, Denver has those top few lines, but it just seems like the Broncos are just top to bottom. All 4 lines can get it done, and that is something that comes in clutch when you enter the postseason.
1 minute remaining here in this final period. Puck is kicked out to neutral ice. It's going to be Dean Kramer. Excuse me, that's Brian Kramer. We'll just send it in as Zach Naring there, the Winnipeg Jets draft pick. Freshman out of North Dakota. Shot saved by Miller with the glove. The shot came from Krusberg-Rosine, formerly of the Lincoln Stars in the USHL. And focusing on not even next season, as we still have a game to go, but we've talked to Anthony Noreen about, and even recruiting coordinator David Nyes about where they're going to start getting their guys from and where you're going to see them get their prospects from, or prospects, quote unquote, or recruits, I should say is a better word, as Caragiello brings it into the zone. He fires. That one's off the outside of the post. and it kicks out to the near corner. But looking at this RedHawks, the future of this RedHawks program, and all the things with the CHL and all of the recruiting stuff, they have a couple guys coming in from the CHL, guys who have aged out of the CHL, but Anthony Noreen and David Nyes have both said that a lot of the best teams in this conference get guys out of the USHL, and they're going to try and follow that model, and as of now, have a big recruiting class coming in next year, and most of those guys are from there. So the final buzzer sounds, and it's identical. The scoreboard, I should say, is identical to the last time these two teams met on a Friday night. 8-3 the final score in favor of Western Michigan, and Luke, Miami had spurts. They had some areas of the game where they played well and had chances to score, but it's just hard against a talented team that plays such a good system like WMU.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to look at this game and say we lost by 5 goals. What head coach Anthony Noreen is probably going to look at is that first period. How did we stay neck and neck with these guys? They played really good hockey. So I honestly felt like they dominated the last 5 to 7 minutes of that first period. So you got to go to that example of when you're playing your best hockey and say, how do we do that and how do we replicate that for 60 minutes? But we thought we were going to see a really good Broncos team tonight, and that's exactly what we saw, just top to bottom. Defense who are jumping in offensively. They're big and physical. 4 lines that are able to get in on the forecheck, get on the board. And, I mean, Alex Bump, man, was he special to watch tonight, just creating chances left and right. But as you mentioned again, they play for a lot more than just the scoreboard at times. Miami, their season is coming to an end, but there's grad students. There are guys that this might be their last time ever playing hockey, ever playing this high level of hockey. So you're playing for something bigger than yourselves. On the younger side of things, you got a lot of freshmen that are trying to prove to head coach Anthony Noreen, I want to be back here. I want to be a top 6 forward. I want to be on the power play. So everyone is always watching you. There's never a moment where it doesn't matter. On the Western Michigan side of things, you've already clinched the division, but they're proving to their coach, I want to get more playing time come playoff time, and they're going to try to get in their top shape. So obviously not the season that you wanted for the RedHawks, but there's always pride to be playing for out here, and that's something that should not be taken lightly.
Exactly right, and tomorrow, the last game of the season for Miami, they will close it out same time against Western Michigan. Again, final score tonight, 8-3. Hampton Slupkinski gets his 10th win of his freshman year, first year in college, and 10 wins behind a great WMU team that had proved it tonight. With all that being said, we appreciate you tuning in to this broadcast of Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. Come back tomorrow. It'll be Luke Westpoli and I on the broadcast for the final game of the season. My name's Jeff Middleton. For Luke Lewis, Aiden Sones, and everybody here at Red Hawk Radio, thank you for joining this broadcast of Miami Hockey. Aiden Sones going to get you ready with the post-game report, and we will see you tomorrow night.
It is the end of the game. And 8-3. Western Michigan Broncos are on top. But that is not safe to say that the third period was a lot better for these RedHawks. No goals were allowed by the Broncos in the third period. Meanwhile, Raymond Ventolins with a goal, as well as Colby Ambrosio. Both men cut the deficit by 2. Granted, it wasn't enough, but it was surely enough to boost morale and boost what we need to do next game, what our momentum needs to shift to, and that is a good sign to see. Just looking at the overall period stats, we see that, of course, Miami scored only 1 goal, that was Raymond Vintalens. Shots on goal were about even 6-6. Meanwhile, shots were 17-9 in favor of Western Michigan. That means that a lot of blocked shots have occurred for Miami, a lot more defensively minded. So it was a nice balance between scoring goals and blocking shots for these RedHawks. In terms of saves, Brett Miller came in, 6 saves compared to Western Michigan's Hampton Slokinski's 5. Power play goals was Miami's, of course. Face-offs, Miami has been on that the entire game. It's a little concerning to see that Western Michigan has had it on top 11-9 in the period. So that wraps up this game. What about the rest of the games in the NCAA right now? Number 15, Penn State at number 11, Michigan. They're in OT as it's tied 5-5. New Hampshire is still continuing the upset with about a minute left in the third period. New Hampshire is beating number 17, UMass Lowell, 3-1. Number 14, Minnesota State hosts Lake Superior State. And Minnesota State is winning 2-1 with 1 minute left in the second. Notre Dame is at number 3 in Minnesota, but Notre Dame is up at top 3-1. 2 more games have ended for the top 25 teams, that being number 5 Maine against number 16 Massachusetts. Number 16 Massachusetts with a huge upset, 5-1. And speaking of upsets, why not Wisconsin Badgers against number 9 Ohio State. Wisconsin winning 4-1. In terms of your NCHC games, we have 3 going on. Omaha at number 18, North Dakota State. North Dakota winning 2-0. Minnesota Duluth at St. Cloud State. Minnesota Duluth 1-0 with 15 minutes left in the second period. And finally, the battle for Colorado. The number 20 seed, Colorado College against number 7, Denver. Denver is winning 1-0 with 7 minutes left in the first period. And finally, your Miami RedHawks hosted the Western Michigan Broncos. Number 4, 8-3, final score. So that wraps up here for us here at Red Hawk Radio. Tomorrow's game is at Saturday, 7 o'clock. Live stream will start around 6:30. Again, we'll have me as doing the pregame, intermission, and postgame. So stay tuned, and we'll see you tomorrow.